Hello, everybody. Um, happy, still Monday, January 5th, 2026. This is where we left off. I think this is going to be, I just posted, okay, so Gay Nazi Tobacco Swamp Pedophile Hunting, Part 1, earlier this morning before I went to work. This is now Part 2, and then tomorrow will be Part 3. It's going to be a long one today, but we're going to start part 3 on a post I did on December 7th last year, 2025. And I'm just going to play the whole post right now. Okay, and then we'll go on from here. December 4th, 2025. So, I found this. Well, I just reenacted that, but it was on the ground, and I thought, this is great, guys. Hey, kiddos, use this. Don't use the Swisher Sweets. Don't use any kind of tobacco wraps. And don't make a blunt. Just make whatever you're making out of these things. Hemp wraps. There you go. No tobacco, no nicotine. Alright? And it's not even that nicotine and tobacco, whatever. I mean, yeah, that's not as good for you as this. But it's what you're buying into, kiddos. You're buying into this, one of the worst mafia swamp whatever. These people, every time you give money to the tobacco swamp, you're giving money to mass shootings, which they're running out of money, so that's not happening anymore. Just a lot of horrible stuff they do. So, that's why. Alright, bye. Godspeed to everybody getting out the other side in one piece. P-E-A-C, bye. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I posted this, and I bit my tongue on one thing. I said the tobacco swamp. I mean, everybody knows, anybody who's been following me knows I've been linking tobacco swamp money to mass shootings for over a decade now. Almost 2 decades. Anyway, so and I said they're running out of money, they're imploding, and they're not able to carry off any more mass shootings. And I didn't mean to say that as a challenge. It turned out to be a challenge. But another thing I said is, if you're giving money or buying cigarettes and giving money toward the tobacco swamp, you're also, at the time, what was this is December 7th, I was getting inklings that the tobacco swamp also was very tightly linked to the pedophile swamp. So I said, you're not only supporting mass shootings, they're out of money, but you're supporting pedophile rings. And I wasn't quite there yet to state that here. I bit my tongue. I said, and you're supporting a lot of other bad things, and I wasn't quite ready to make that kind of statement. I mean, that's strong of a statement, but it turns out since then I am 100% behind it. Every molecule, if I sniff out any molecule of tobacco swamp stuff, I'm now associating it with the pedophile swamp and pedophile rings and this kind of thing. So I'm just really, really big on taking down tobacco swamp or connecting it to pedophilia since then. So let's just December 7th. Oh, by the way, when I said they're not doing them anymore, I believe, I'm not quite sure, but I believe the last true mass shooting, meaning 4 or more victims shot and killed, not counting the shooter, and not involving domestic violence. There's a whole thing on it, and I believe the last true mass shooting happened in Uvalde in 2021, and that's related. I've also related that to NBC and the Kelly Clarkson show when she went out to Uvalde, and Matthew McConaughey, because when they did this mass shooting, they also, that's where Matthew McConaughey grew up in Uvalde, is they tried to launch his political career by this shooting. Like he was going to become a congressperson was the plan and run against anti-gun things. So yeah, that was all related to Matthew McConaughey, and his name will come up again a little bit later when I show you Walmart Radio and their relationship to mass shootings. Like for a long time, I was anybody who was doing like Walmart Radio was playing tobacco songs, and I was relating that to mass shootings as well. Blah blah blah. I have a whole thing on this. I'll show you later a whole video on this. But anyway, this was just. I just found this. I was finding, by the way, this video is going to be at least an hour or two long, and so is the next video. So we're just throwing spaghetti against the wall, but I have a lot. Look at all these things I have to cover today, up to here, I think. So, that's the way it is. This is a happy New Year's Day gift for my boo. It's now gift season. I already posted the Christmas gift. This is a little bit late, but it's still the New Year's gift, and it's going to be in 3 parts. And then my birthday's coming up, and I have a birthday gift for her, which is going to be going over all the lawsuits I've been doing. So that might be a little late too, but so. And then I have gifts. I've got so many gifts for you, baby. It's going to be a great gift season. So enjoy. On the road to inevitable world peace. So this is the biggest gift of all is world peace. It's coming with or without me, but I'm trying to advance it in a certain way as safely as possible. And so boo security is the thing. Like world peace is coming, but let's try to get to the other side, especially to December of 2026 in one piece. So boo security is top priority, and hopefully any information that's gathered from my videos will help toward security and keeping people safe. Okay? So for the longest time, I think this is the first time I've ever found the hemp wraps, because what the tobacco people do is they toss these little samples all over the place. They'll do it at a concert, for instance. Taylor Swift is pretty tobacco free in her songs, but I'm positive that at her concerts where they have a lot of young targets for the tobacco swamp, they just toss Swisher Sweets and just little cigarillos and things as free samples, and they'll give free samples of cigarettes as well, but it's mostly cigarillos because it's tobacco, it might get them to smoke, but it's also they could use the wrapper for blunts. So while marijuana is now taking over, the kids are now smoking more marijuana than cigarettes, probably it's the number one competition. For tobacco swamp has always tried to keep marijuana illegal for that reason. But this is the first time I've actually seen free samples. That's not an empty packet. That packet has samples in it. It's got the wraps in it. This is the first time I've seen those passed around on the ground. So I'm taking it as a good sign, and that's great. And so I did not mean this as a challenge to the tobacco swamp to carry off a mass shooting, but they took it as a challenge. And yes, the world does revolve around me. I triggered the next, what they're calling a mass shooting. It's not a mass shooting because only 2 people were killed. And you say only, but it's true. They're trying to, they can't even do mass shootings anymore. They just say, it's a mass shooting. No, it wasn't. 2 people were killed. It was this one. So less than a week later, I triggered this, I believe. It was Brown University shooting on December 13th. That was a Saturday. A shooting spree, they're calling it they're finally calling it a shooting here and not a mass shooting. So that's also a positive sign. Is I'm trying to get to Wikipedia's mass shooting page where they say there have been 500 mass shootings this year, and there haven't been any. There hasn't been a mass shooting since 2021 because the tobacco swamp is imploding. So that's what I meant when I said they're out of money, so they can't do mass shootings anymore. And because the biggest cost of mass shootings is the after narrative. It's very expensive, and it's also the biggest cost is protecting the real shooter. There's always, there's a lot of things going on. But every time there's a shooting and they're calling it a mass shooting, the first thing I do is this was triggered by me saying there hasn't been any mass shootings, and the first thing I always do, and I didn't have a chance to do this, but is find out where the gay men are.
Updates, but we're going to share what we
Oops.
do know at this time. But please bear with us as we sometimes these details shift as the investigation progresses. Sadly, today is a day that the city of Providence and the state of
Okay,
Rhode
so that's the mayor of Providence, where Brown University is located. Oh, shoot. My cat just... Okay, you stay in, okay? I gotta close the window, but I'll keep going. It's fine. What am I doing way up here? All right, I'm not stopping this. I don't care. I started. I'm gonna go for 2 hours. You stay inside though, okay, cat? So he's gay and no, I'm going. I'm not stopping this. Oh, I got it. Okay, just hold on a minute, you guys. Okay. Yes. Got both my cats in now. Close their window. I keep them in at night, so I close the window down so they can't go out at night. It keeps them safer. Hopefully they'll live longer than... Their lives are shorter now that I'm letting them outside, their life expectancy, but it'll increase their expectancy if I just keep them in at night, close the window down. Come on. Don't step on the computer. Okay, so this guy's gay and involved in the shooting, because anybody who comes on... immediately after the shooting, I just go to X and find out what videos are coming up and who's talking. This guy's the mayor of Providence, Rhode Island. He's involved in the shooting. And this guy. So...
That's kind of concerning. You see when it happened, and we write back, and I'm catching up right now.
President, with all due respect, 6 hours after the shooting, and you said you don't know what was going on in that classroom? How does that happen? Were they taking an exam? Were they meeting for a club?
I don't know.
6 hours later, and you're the president, and you don't know.
I do not know.
Well, that's kind of concerning.
Okay, so the reporter asking the question is gay. He's involved in the shooting. So those two, this guy and the guy asking that question of this lady, they're both involved in the shooting, both gay, and that's just helping you out. So I'm saying I'm doing this information now because I get the feeling the people investigating this, the FBI and all these guys, now the good guys, are onto all this. They know this. I didn't have to. I was going to do this, and then a whole bunch of other stuff happened since then. Okay, there's a very busy time. Okay, triggered by this one little short I put up. So her name is the one speaking. Christina Paxson is Jewish, and I believe this was done to make her look bad. So the one shooting that happened a while ago in New York, they killed three or four. I don't know. I didn't call it a real mass shooting because they knew, the shooter knew the people that they were targeting these people. But what I'm trying to protect now is Jewish women. I would check, just like on that one, there were two Jewish women killed. They're trying to make her look bad, and she's possibly a progressive Jewish woman who is coming out against circumcising babies. Okay, you got to protect these women. Okay, so they're trying to. This was the shootings. The shootings have many. The narrative of this shooting is this woman's bad, and it's probably because she is a progressive Jewish woman trying to end circumcising. And this is a huge deal to the gay Nazi community and the gay pedophiles, and this is like this is the main focus of everything right now. That's their main. All the swamps are gonna protect the right to circumcise and the right to suck little baby dicks, which is what the whole subject of the last video was. Okay, so keep your eyes on the ball, everybody. Watch out, and during the shootings, this is tobacco swamp, but the main goal is to protect the right to suck baby dicks. I mean, it's all going to come back to this, and we'll find out. So that's what this was all about. There'll be other things, but protect her, because, well, now they're not going to try to kill her, but they're trying to torpedo her because she's Jewish. Also, I read that the classroom, there was a professor or somebody was in the classroom doing something, and that person is Jewish, a Jewish woman. So the woman in the classroom, always look for the gays and look for the Jewish women who are progressive and and are speaking out against circumcision. Okay, we don't even that's what we're looking for right now for across everything. Always watch out for the Jewish women. Now, that's all. I'm just putting it out there, and that's it for the shooting. Okay, so I need to start clearing this out a little bit. So December 7th, the Brown University shooting. I might be forgetting stuff, but I'll cover it later when I do this. Okay, so what else was going on? On December, let's look at what I was doing December 13th. So there's your rant exposing. Oh no, okay, that wasn't it. Okay, so December 14th, early in the morning, I'm watching, okay. So
I shouldn't even be talking about this, but Powerball and Mega Millions are trying to put me in jail after I discovered how any American can hit at least 4 numbers every week.
Come on, I'm sorry about this, you guys.
The Diddy doc is out.
Okay, so we're on Whitney Cummings, and this was, I think she posted this that morning. This is my comment on her video on the Diddy docs. So she's at the forefront of really fighting pedophilia too. All right, she gets off track sometimes, I think, or I'm not sure. So the gay Nazis are focused on her and trying to control her narrative because she's constantly over the target and she's really good. And right now, this is another person we're protecting. Of course, my boo, Kelly Clarkson, always, but absolutely Whitney and their kids, her and her kids. And right now, so she's on the list, Jewish women, there's just a very short list, but it'll expand out to anybody trying to cover, who's telling the truth, trying to cover pedophilia. And I determined and I'm trying to figure out how she got onto CNN last year. And last year I figured she's being, at the time, supported by the religion swamp, which is now imploding. So there's going to be a little bit of, she's going to lose her support from the religion swamp, which is a good thing. But just hang in there, Whitney Cummings. Okay, just hang in there. There's a lot of choppy stuff going on. I don't care about your career right now and what you're doing. I don't care about your art form for now. I'm just trying to get you to get to December 2026. But I'm noticing over the last 3 weeks you're having problems a little bit. You're starting to get backlash and things, and that's a good sign, but just hang in there and you're going to come out okay is what I'm saying. Just hang in there. But so I'm going to read a lot of comments in this video because they're triggering a lot of shit going on. So I'm going to read the comment I left that day, the whole thing, okay, because it has to do with pedophilia and this whole subject. This was posted, I think, on the 13th or 14th, and I posted this at 11 a.m. on the 14th. What the hell? Was it? Okay, sorry guys. Oh, here it is. Okay, so December 14th, this is the comment I posted at 11:18 a.m., which is 8 a.m. Pacific time. This is kind of important, the times are, December 14th. So I'm going to read the whole comment. And here it is. All right. And she had a thing on P. Diddy. Just going to read the whole comment. And the reason I'm doing this is because later on, I want everything to be on my videos because my comments are spread out and you can't, if I were on Twitter or something else, but when you do something, you run my videos through a program called transcribe it. I want this to be transcribed in the video. So your rant exposing the massive conflict of interest in using data center servers to heat homes smacks of a similarly gay Nazi pedophile created money-making scam back in 1998 called the Tobacco Settlement Agreement. But I put a big long, the Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement is what it was called. But I made a long thing and I said, we pedophiles no longer have to master bait since we can now get the real deal settlement agreement. Okay. And where the gay Nazi-run tobacco industry agreed in quote unquote with the pedophiles in Congress who run the education, religion, and family court systems to fund schools, churches, and family courts, i.e., in other words, gain paid access to little girls and boys in places where they are supposedly most safe, with profits made from selling cigarettes to the little girls and boys and the teenagers. So you are funding these child-related places with money, but the money comes from selling cigarettes. So when these child-related places are now have incentive to continue allowing cigarette sales to teenagers, they have no incentive to prevent teen smoking. It's a huge conflict of interest, okay? And it's brilliant because the pedophiles are brilliant. They know what they're doing. And so anyway, that's a scam that was huge. It was called the Tobacco, and it lasted 25 years. Okay, and here we go. This was the punishment. The punishment for doled out to the tobacco industry by congressional pedophiles. The punishment was they had to use their profits to support schools and things like that, and that was my favorite. And okay, congressional pedophiles. Non-gay, dumbass morons still brag about how brilliant this taxpayer-funded pedo ring was and still lash out on the down low against Swamp Terminator Trump for finally torpedoing this 25-year child rape program when it was not renewed in 2023. So the 25 years were up in 2023, i.e. when Trump was still running the country on the down low. So my theory is Trump did not have enough time to take down the 16th Amendment, which is the whole thing, is taking down the 16th Amendment drains all the money from all the swamps. So that's the only way you can get out and protest. You can get out and rah, 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 vote this, vote that. Nothing is going away until the money dries out, and the money is going to dry out. And the way you get the money to dry out is you end the corruption, and the way you end the corruption is you take down the 16th Amendment, period. So that's everything. That's what he is doing. And in the meantime, I'm just trying to navigate through this stuff and finding out which swamps are imploding and how to protect, boost security and all this. But anyway, he could not get the 16th Amendment to be taken down. This is all described elsewhere. I'm not even, come on, catch up everybody. So he's taking down the 16th Amendment, and what is my point? Gay Nazis, this 25-year program. Oh, he couldn't do it in 8 years. Trump figured, he knew in 2020 he wasn't going to be able to do this by 2024, so he's in control. After 2016, which was the most corrupt election in history, I went over all this, why. It was the most corrupt election in history against Trump. Especially when they say that Hillary won the popular vote. That was the most corrupt. It was all 2 million votes that came in after the election by mail-in votes in California, whatever that was. I already exposed all that, but you better believe the first thing Trump did when he got into office in 2016 was he figured out all this thing, so that by the time 2020 came around, it's not even useful. Don't even vote. I mean, everybody go vote for sure. I didn't even vote. I didn't vote last time. But Trump is in charge of the elections pretty much at this point. He purposely blew the 2020. He won that one by an even bigger landslide than 2016. But he needed more than 4 years as the president. So he ran the country, but he put Biden in as if he were the president. So Biden was kind of the puppet president under Trump. So all this shit going on, Trump was like stabilizing the economy after all that damn fake pandemic Holocaust crap, and he's battling the swamps. And then 2024, I didn't even vote. I already said he's going to win 2024, and I even tweeted back in 2020. I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Okay, Trump, my life's going to be a shit show for the next 4 years." I knew I was going to be, it was a shit show. I knew I was going to be eventually arrested probably, or all this shit. I ran out of California and then I had to run back to it was just, I knew between 20 and 24 to be a shit show, but I also knew he was going to win in 2024, and we're going to continue on the path to taking down the 16th Amendment. And that's what we're working on now. And it's the next election, 2026, is going to be the big one, because that's when we're going to get the Congress, and a lot of shit's going down. And Trump is just fan-fucking-tastic. This guy is just, I love you. I love you, boss man. Keep up the good work. I hope what I'm doing is helping you out. I will go to jail for you anytime. And I don't do it on purpose. No, not anymore. I'm saying I don't want to go to jail anymore. But it's all this shit I'm doing and all this sacrifice I'm making. He is able to leverage it in amazing ways, including all this stuff going on here. Like, you'll see that after all this, I'll show you what he was able to do 5 days after all this stuff. So we'll show you. Okay, so. Good Lord, by the way, so this is what this part means. By the way, gay Nazis are not necessarily, okay, so Trump, and one of the biggest things he was able to do was make sure that did not get renewed. So that killed the pedophiles. He's being accused of pedophile, that, all that shit. P. Diddy is involved. They're not, it's all 5D chess moving going on, 4D, 5D chess moving. I'm not even coming close to touching what P. Diddy and the Epstein files and this and that is Trump. We got 40 freaking closeted gay men in the Senate. 40 out of 100 U.S. senators are closeted gay men and probably pedophiles, or at least controlled by pedophiles if they're not. And this is what Trump has to deal with right now. So let him do his thing. But the true pedophiles are not what you think. So watch out for the tobacco people. Anybody opposing Trump's recent plan to get marijuana legalized, anybody opposing that to pedophile or pedophile supported. So that's the indications are really easy. You don't even have to. I have the gay, not gay list, so that's a good sign if they're gay. But if they're not supporting legalizing marijuana, that's pedophile central. Anybody trying to fight pedophiles, get marijuana off the Schedule 3 and put down to a Schedule 1 drug. Okay, it's so simple, you guys. It's follow the smoke. Don't follow the money, follow the tobacco, and you'll be on your way. If you're truly interested in ending pedophilia and protecting little babies and little kids, okay? Good Lord, people. Okay. All right, this 25-year, i.e. when Trump was still running the country, on the down low. Good Lord, people, come on. By the way, gay Nazis are not necessarily pedophiles, but they have been teaming up with pedophiles for millennia because both groups have almost impossible to control, impossible to satisfy sex drives that cause these two groups of men to empathize with each other and to help make each other's sex fantasies come true. For gays, the age-old impossible fantasy of every gay man is to make enough money to control the mind and the penis of the non-gay dumbass moron, to the point where the non-gay dumbass moron will accidentally stick his penis up the anus of the gay man. And for the pedophiles, the age-old impossible fantasy for every pedophile is to make enough money to control the minds and parental rights of non-gay dumbass moronic parents, to the point where the non-gay dumbass moronic parents accidentally entrust and give easy access to their kids and the kids of others to pedophiles through the education, religion, and family court systems. Okay? More on this later, Whitney, when I cover your Elvis segment, where I disagree with you that Elvis was a pedophile, at least not in the true sense of the term. In other words, a man who strongly desires and to sexualize prepubescent girls, which is to be contrasted with men who have the Lolita syndrome. In other words, men who strongly desire pubescent girls, which Elvis may have had. But because he also, Priscilla Presley was like 14, and she claims that they never had sex until she turned 18. And I tend to believe that because they were Southern and religious, and even if they hadn't, it wasn't a pedophilia. She's freaking 14, you guys. Get it straight. After period Lolita syndrome, which is it's not nearly as bad as the pedophilia thing because it's just Mother Nature and whatever. And by the way, she was murdered, her son was murdered, all that shit, you guys. Anyway, I'm going to later, the next video is going to be more helping talented, especially females and other people, though, all these stars being murdered, and just trying to, my best guess at who's going to be targeted next and how to protect yourself even better than what I've been saying before. Elvis may have had, but I do not consider it a dire sickness like pedophilia because Mother Nature has decided that pubescent girls can be parents. So it's just Mother Nature driving the youngest mothers to pair up with fathers who can care best for everybody, in my opinion. And fighting Mother Nature, or worse, confusing Mother Nature with one of the worst sicknesses to plague humankind is something to be avoided on the road to inevitable sustained world peace. But I digress. I think Elvis was a typical non-gay dumbass moron who may have suffered from the Lolita syndrome. I believe the Reddit posts that say Elvis despised filming that scene in Harem Scarum, singing to the little girl in a way that had all the pedophiles in Hollywood jizzing up a storm. I believe the Reddit posts. Okay, I suspect funding for the movie Harem Scarum and Elvis's album Harem Scarum would have been pulled instantly if he refused to do that song. Since you are possibly guilty of doing similar bidding for the pedophiles in Hollywood without realizing it, everybody, including me, we've been doing this. Everybody's been bidding for them. That's how good they are, guys. So our generation, my age, and Kelly's generation on up, everybody's guilty of helping the pedophiles. The younger generation won't be as much, and I don't know, they're going to treat us very nicely, guys. I think you, especially baby girl Kelly, you need to start putting your foot down on the pedophile shit. I'm not sure that I can't control the backlash. I'm just saying it's looking bad, and all I'm doing is predicting the future. I'm just telling you in the future it's going to be very clear that there's a lot of pedophile shit that we're not paying attention to. It's going to be worse than it's the circumcision, and there's a lot of shit, and everybody's going to say, how could you not see this, to all of us? And it's just, that's the way it is, and that's the way history goes. So pay attention, people, and now's the time, and hopefully history will be easy on us, but it's just not good, people. Okay, I suspect funding for the movie and Elvis's album would have been pulled instantly if he refused to do that song. So there's a song, Harem Scarum, when he's singing about a little girl, and she covered it in this podcast. I'm not, okay. Since you are possibly guilty of doing similar bidding for the pedophiles in Hollywood without realizing it, for example, I think the pedophile who fed you this false info on Elvis being a pedophile, possibly through your closeted gay fiance, is a major security threat to you. Just FYI, CrowdSourcingRules, she's engaged to a gay guy. They're feeding her information that they want. They're trying to control the narrative, and what happens when people they're losing money, the truth is starting to bubble up, and they just do everything they can to still control, like damage control. The pedophile shit's coming up, and now they're trying to redirect. Elvis was a pedophile. Elvis was a pedophile. No, he wasn't. I mean, he's had Lolita syndrome. He did a couple of questionable things. He said he didn't like it. And now this is not anywhere near the right. You guys don't lose your focus on where the real pedophiles are. They're very good at deflecting, and it's all gonna come out soon. The truth will eventually prevail, but boy, it's gonna be some hard times. I always say the religion swamp is the last single standing swamp to implode, but the biggest, most powerful, most deadly swamp, the gay Nazi-supported pedophile-run family court swamp, which draws all of its power from all 4 of the major gay Nazi swamps and from every politically powerful pedophile, is going to be the last big battle on the road to inevitable sustained world peace. Holy carp. I inadvertently threw myself right in the midst of this final battle when I filed a federal lawsuit in Los Angeles, aka otherwise known as Gay Nazi Pedophile Central, on August 8th, 2025. Godspeed to me coming out the other side in one piece and in one piece. Wish me luck. Parentheses, more info later, maybe, as spilling the beans on this battle or my battle strategy might not be the best thing to do for now, especially for Boo security, the most important goal of all this. But beans are definitely coming soon. You'll see why. I just post this thing about there are no more mass shootings, and then there's this mass shooting which wasn't a mass shooting. It's done by gay people, and they're going after the Jewish women. I'm promoting stop circumcision, and I'm saying there's no mass shooting, and then I trigger this mass shooting where they're targeting Jewish women. Okay, we're going to protect Esther Perel. We're going to protect Barbara Streisand, Bette Midler. These people were on Twitter for the longest time promoting pedophiles without realizing it because they allowed gay men to run their Twitter accounts. I haven't heard from them since, but we are looking to protect older Jewish women who are coming to their senses. Okay? And we're looking to protect and just hang in there, everybody. Okay? So I was very silent, obviously not silent, but I was like, and another thing is it ruins my ability I have vibes and I have all sorts of feelers out there. I do the Twitter thing, and I have various input from all these data input, and I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just, getting a general feeling, and I can't get the vibes on security if I'm causing certain things. If you're a scientist and your simple observation of the subject is changing the data, it kind of screws things up. So I was just silent for a while. Baby girl, I just had to be silent. I couldn't be commenting and saying shit for a while because I was just doing mostly observation. I wasn't silent because I wasn't afraid of anything. I just trying to get my bearings. And also, when I come out and I throw spaghetti against the wall, it looks messy, but it's very, very I got to be right. Every video I've posted and every comment I've made, I'm very proud. Going back 15, 20 years, I am my favorite fan. I'm the biggest fan, other than the greatest fan of my life. We all know that. But I love reading my stuff because it's correct. And what I'm saying today is correct. Okay, we got to stop the pedophiles. This is the year of stopping the pedophiles. And next year, and 10 years from now, they're going to say, of course, but nobody's going to realize that I was slightly ahead of the curve and getting, chewed up for it. But still, it's kind of fun this way. This shit's happening with or without me. It's just kind of fun being in the middle of it, and I'm kind of hoping we can get there. I'm hoping I could help Trump in some way. Okay, baby girl, you keep going. Since I posted this, her podcasts have been strange. It could be because she can't tell who's gay. I think her father was closeted gay. He married like a fashion designer. It just sounds all very gay. She doesn't realize her father was gay. She could have been molested as a little baby. I'm not sure. That without her realizing it, that could be part of her emotional instability. She should explore that. I'm not sure how you would know. But her father was definitely gay, I'm pretty sure, and now she's engaged because these white women cannot tell who is gay. She doesn't believe her. He is, obviously. It's not even a close call with him. It's like 100% freaking gay. And the gays, there isn't a celebrity woman who isn't surrounded by gay men trying to control them, trying to push them together with their gay buddies. Taylor Swift with fucking gay Travis Kelce. They're all being pushed toward athletes, especially their favorite gay athletes. So he's a gay athlete, and they're constantly just being pushed together. It might work, it might not, but you need to keep him or not him, but his buddies the hell away from your baby boy. Hopefully he's out of diapers, but just I don't know what else to say, guys. The only thing is the future is bright, and we don't have to worry about this shit in the future because they probably will know. We'll probably figure it out. It's just I think this is for Trump and my Wordle muses, you guys. It's top level thinking, and it's kind of like so Alexander Hamilton wrote the Constitution so that non-gay dumbass morons could protect themselves from gay Nazi attack and free themselves from this. But the 16th Amendment came even after all this, and they torpedoed this, and then the gay Nazi assholes still took over, and now are still treating non-gay dumbass morons as slaves, governmental slaves. But it's still slavery. It's not sustainable. And for the first time in history, because of the internet, we're going to be able to get out from it finally, and get rid of the 16th Amendment. But I'm not sure how long this is sustainable. As long as we still have this freaking mutation, we wouldn't need, like, for instance, in China, they don't spank their kids, but they don't have a law that says you can't spank it, because it's just like making a law that says you don't chew off your own arm. It is illegal for you to saw off your arm. It would be that ridiculous in China to make a law that says you cannot spank your kids. So there are certain laws you don't need in a society where there aren't a lot of gay men. Okay, so we're trying to get the 16th Amendment taken down. We're trying to get the Constitution in place, but even and that needs to be done now to get to the other side. But once we get into a sustainable thing, I think we're not going to need a lot of this stuff, because at the same time we are learning how gay people are made, and we're going to stop making gay people. There aren't going to be gay men in existence, at least in a critical mass mode. 5 gay men together can control thousands of people in a bad way, without even realizing it. And pedophiles, it's all a white problem. But once we figure out how to not make gay people, all these problems go away. And you don't even need to take down the 16th. You don't even need these obvious laws, because non-gay people together have a similar goal of there would be peace, because it helps everybody with our goals of just wanting a family, wanting to be able to support them and protect them and trade with people and this kind of thing. And it's just very peaceful. The goal of the gay man is not that. Is to have somebody, a non-gay man, stick his penis up his anus. I mean, they would do that over any kind of money, anything else, and they're mentally whatever, and it's just a disease. It's a disease, and you don't want to purposely create gay people. That's just a fact that as we are learning more about what makes gay people, we're also learning how to not make them. And the future is going to be sad for anybody who is born with this disease, because, but they're just going to have to learn to survive like anybody born blind or whatever. They're going to have to learn how to survive, possibly as a closeted whatever. There aren't going to be a lot of gay people around for them to marry, that's like a booby. It's not even their first prize. Their first prize is the non-gay equivalent of what they are. The gay woman wants a non-gay woman, and then she'll settle on another gay woman. That's just to settle. But, everybody settles. Even non-gay people settle too. But I'm just saying, for Trump, the future, we need all these things to be done, and we need the justice system revamped, but it's not going to be, hopefully, not going to be needed very much, and then hopefully, anyway, that's what I'm thinking now. Because I'm kind of wondering, what's the use of doing all this if 100 years from now, because white non-gay people are just too focused. Of course, that's just natural. They're too focused on the right things, which is their family and other things, to worry about this other shit. Like, we can't, life's too short, and you don't have time to investigate every last fact, because you're being lied to constantly. Like, what do you trust? You have to trust certain things, and so once the facts just come up naturally, it's going to be fine. Okay, blah blah blah. I'm just thinking about the future and long-term goal, and I'm thinking we're not gonna need a lot of this stuff. We're gonna need it now for the next couple of decades, if not the next century. But I'm talking centuries from now. Long term, for humankind, is not gonna have gay people anymore, because they're just a pain. They're trouble. It's like in China, they just started chopping their dicks off when they were at birth, when they were pregnant. Remember? Anyway, so I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to tell everybody what the future is and what's coming, and then everybody can react accordingly and act accordingly. I'm not trying to guide things. I'm just saying what will be probably. I'm trying to show what the future is going to be. It is going to be inevitable world peace, and it's okay. All right, so that was that. So after I write all this stuff and put it all out, guess what happened? Rob Reiner is murdered due to all this shit that I've been posting. Okay? And like within hours. So on December 14th, 12 hours after I put up that post, or I think less than a few hours, what is that? It was 8 a.m. Pacific time when I posted that, and then 4 hours later, supposedly murdered. Now, I'm getting the feeling that it's possible, just from the way this is happening. I'm on 50-50 on this, that both he and his wife are just under a protection plan. Their murders were faked, and they're off somewhere, crossing my fingers, just in Italy or somewhere else, just protected, because they were probably older, Jewish, same shit going on, and they were just possibly targeted, and Trump sensed it and got him the hell out of there. And because the murder just seems so... Because Trump did this thing again where it's like this weird, he was deserved... I mean, it's just a weird... It was just such a weird post that it was just telling me he's not dead. And, I'm not being crazy on this. It's just 50-50. I'm trying to, if I'm going to bet $1 million and win one way or the other, I'm going to say that he's still alive. He did not get murdered, and they're putting his son through they're trying to clean out that thing, that shit I went through, the mental health court in LA. So that's the center of everything. I went through that whole thing, and I exposed a lot of stuff, but this is Trump doing 4D chess move. I hope he got enough information from the 6 months I went through this stuff so that he could figure out, and so that's what's going on with this shit. I don't think he was murdered, and their son Nick is... Godspeed to him. He knows. He's just like the guy who supposedly shot Charlie Kirk. It's all the same shit. It's 4D chess moves trying to get our justice system on track, So thank you, boss, for that, if that's what you're doing. But let's just read... Okay, so this is where I'm connecting everything up here. Is Gavin Newsom sends out a tweet. It's on it's early morning. It's 12 a.m., which is 9 p.m. on December 14th. So here on the East Coast, it says it's posted December 15th, but it was posted at 9 o'clock on December 14th, the evening of of the supposed death of these guys. And this is what Gavin Newsom, he doesn't write this. Everybody anybody has gay Nazis controlling their Twitter and everything like that, and just either because it's easier, or they're threatened, or whatever it is. And this includes Trump. Like, Trump will constantly do deals, and I'll bet you before this happened, Trump had a deal where he had some kind of deal where somebody could write whatever they wanted on a tweet from his, in exchange for whatever it was, and they could write whatever they wanted was what they wrote about Rob Reiner to make Trump try to look bad, and Trump doesn't give a fuck about the voting or whatever because he controls all that. So he doesn't care about that shit or what he looks like and all this. He's just trying to do some serious shit, and he's making deals, and he's battling fucking the worst gay Nazi butt fucking pieces of shit on the planet. Okay, and a lot of them. And good for you, but so when he sends out a tweet and it looks like that, you're like, oh, well, I don't like Trump because of that tweet. It's just, okay, nobody gives a fuck. No, he doesn't care about you, what you're thinking, okay, one way or the other. So that's what that was, and I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just like, you got to keep your eye on the ball. And so the fact that that tweet went out like that is telling me that these guys are still alive. Or Trump made Trump made a big deal. He knew ahead of time all this stuff, and so that's fine. It's just same like with Charlie Kirk when the first tweet from Trump came out. You could tell from the Trump tweets whether they're still alive or not, or what's going on, and I think they're still alive, guys. I really do. Okay, I hope they are. I hope they are, because just such a talent. Like, I'm just such a weakness for the talent. And he's just so freaking talented, and so is his dad. Okay, just the talent. I don't care about their political views. I don't give a flying hut. Like Robert De Niro. That guy, City by the Sea or something, I was in jail, and I'm watching this movie, and that motherfucker made me cry. And it's just like, I don't give a fuck about what the political views are. I don't care about any of that. Okay, he made me cry, and the talent is number one. This guy's fucking talented, and I mean, talented or not, you don't want people to die, but this one was like, and nobody's making as big of a deal out of it, like, oh, somebody just, okay. Anyway, Jen and I are heartbroken by the tragic loss of Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner. Rob was the big-hearted genius behind so many of the classic stories we love, with projects as wide-ranging as The Princess Bride. This is very interesting. It was on my top 11 rom-com list, and I disqualified it all the way off the list. Why? Because the tobacco, anything that even whiffed of tobacco references. The Princess Bride was free of everything except this one little thing, and that was it is very subtle. But they got the grandfather character, who's a key character in that, the guy who's reading the book to the young, what's his name? The young boy in that thing. I forgot his name. Anyway, the guy, if you say the word, who is the most famous cigar-smoking TV actor in history? You're going to say Peter Falk from Columbo, because he smoked a cigar, I think, on every episode but 2 for 30 years of Columbo. So that's tobacco related, and yet they have him as the grandfather. Now, he didn't smoke the cigar in there, but he may as well, in my brain, have been smoking a cigar while he's reading to this little boy. This is tobacco coming close to a little boy. It's pedophilia, and to me, I mean, everybody's going to say, oh, they're going to think I'm crazy later. I'm talking to everybody 30 years from now. Okay, and I'm going to be spot on. That we're going to find out later, behind the scenes, there was some shit going on with pedophilia between this thing and The Princess Bride. Probably, who knows? But it's not who knows. It's almost 100%. So I knocked it off. It was my top 11 rom-com. They always mention When Harry Met Sally, by the way. That's also off the list. That thing was a fucking piece of joke. That's the worst rom-com of all time. And everything that started this was Kelly Clarkson's show had this redheaded, pedophile-associated Andy guy, right? He came from Ellen's show. He came over from the Ellen show, overrated. Every pedophile wants him to stick his penis up their anus. He's gay as well, and now he's like this big. You cannot fire that guy from the Kelly Clarkson show. Pedophile Central. Once he's gone, we'll know that the pedophiles have finally got lost power over there at NBC and the Kelly Clarkson Show. But this guy put up a top rom-com list, and they put When Harry Met Sally at number 1. And I had this fit. I went on and said this is the worst rom-com, and I started my rom-com list about three years ago because of this. And now I'm finally finishing it for you, baby girl. I mean, it's never going to be finished, but January 11th, I'm going to have, maybe tonight, I'll get some. I don't have the top 111, but I have the top 11 for now, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so this guy is rom-com central, and I'll show you why later. But they mentioned The Princess Bride and A Few Good Men, and both of these have smoking in it, of course. And Rob Reiner is that. Another person is Spielberg. That Spielberg hasn't made a single movie that doesn't have kids smoking cigarettes in it. Jewish, tobacco, pedophilia, it's all kind of related, guys. But they mentioned the two here. Princess Bride, good try. He has a rom-com. I didn't realize this, but he has the number 2 rom-com of all time, and nobody could even mention what it is. It was Buried. And I didn't even know it. I just look at the rom-coms, I order them, and then later I found out just recently that it was Rob Reiner who directed this. I said, what the hell? It's called Alex and Emma. With anyway, we'll go over this later. It just got panned because there were kids in it, and somebody came along and said, no, you can't do the pedophile shit here. Somebody finally said no to the buttfuckers, so they panned it. They gave it a 5.5, low everything, the Rotten Tomato, gay tobacco, Nazi pedophiles there, panned it. Everybody panned it. So if you don't do what the pedophiles tell you and put pedophile references in your movies, they will pan it. And they did that to his movie called Alex and Emma, and it's the number 2 rom-com. Number 3, it's on my top 11 list. No smoking in it, no pedophiles, even though they had kids in it. You could tell that the whole reason they made the movie was to have access to those kids and put pedophile references in it. But there were no pedophile references. There were no little kids talking about penises and things like that. And because somebody on that set said no to this and got this movie out, it's number 1, but they panned the whole thing. So, yeah, Rob Reiner. After all that, you ended up with one of the best rom-coms of all time called Alex and Emma. It stars Kate Hudson and Luke Wilson. Fantastic. I love that rom-com. Anyway, his boundless empathy made his stories timeless, teaching generations how to see goodness and righteousness in others and encouraging us to dream bigger. That empathy extended well beyond his films. Rob was a passionate advocate for children and for civil rights, from taking on big tobacco, fighting for marriage equality, and serving as a powerful voice for early education. He made California a better place through his good works. Rob will be remembered for his remarkable filmography and for his extraordinary contribution to humanity. So, I saw this, and I'm going, what the fuck? It's related. Look, why is the word big tobacco being mentioned here by Governor Gavin Newsom on this guy's death? Because it's all related. And early education for kids, didn't I just get through saying? So I went, this is the one that I was most interested in. This line right here. When I saw that, the empathy extended well beyond his films. Rob was a passionate advocate for children and for civil rights, from taking on big tobacco. How does that sentence, passionate advocate for children by taking on big tobacco? What the fuck? It was just, so I asked Google, I said, what did Rob Reiner do to take on big tobacco? And Rob Reiner took on big tobacco primarily by spearheading the successful, what is that year? 1998. The successful 1998 campaign for California's Proposition 10. What happened? What else happened in 1998? The Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement, 1998. That's all Obama shit. Tobacco Obama, Marlboro Obama, I call him. 1998. For California's Proposition 10, which imposed a 50-cent per pack tax on cigarettes. This initiative raised funds for early childhood development programs, and despite heavy opposition by people who don't like pedophiles, established a lasting anti-tobacco and child health infrastructure, often referred to as First Five California. I was going to spend the rest of my life working for First Five California because they are into reading to the 5-year. They have all sorts of good stuff, but they are fucking run by pedophiles, people. By their connection with tobacco funding. Tobacco funding is pedophiles buying access to little, and this time it's not even teens and kids. It's the First Five. It's the dick sucking pedophiles are after this. And it's involved in anyway. Look at this, guys. This is all related. All right. So once I said the Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement was a pedophile ring supported for 25 years, it kind of blew up within hours. We've got Trump airlifting Rob Reiner, who's in the middle of this shit, and his wife out the fuck out of California. They're over in France somewhere, in my view, being protected because this shit hit the fan with my post. All right? And this is Pedophile Central. It's all blowing up right now in California. And now, hopefully, his son Nick isn't going to be killed in that jail there because tobacco runs the jail. The tobacco swamp runs that jail. Part of it, pharmaceutical swamp does too. A lot of the swamps do. But the tobacco swamp, and I'm going to get more into this a little bit later, what's going on in the tobacco swamp is not, I said the tobacco swamp imploded, but it's one of the strongest swamps for a reason. So let me start closing this down a little bit. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. Close this. Close this. Close this. All right. So we're going to review Stand By Me. It's not a rom-com, but it's Rob Reiner's one of his biggest movies, and also oh god, what is, I hate when I can't remember names. Who's that horror writer? Duh. I just can't even. I'm not even. Who's constantly going out against Trump, who I think is working for Trump. Who wrote Stand By Me book? Stephen King. Okay. So Stephen King, Rob Reiner, these guys all coming out against Trump. I think it's all 5D chess moves, possibly. I can't believe these guys are stupid enough to not realize what the hell's going on. Like, anybody fighting the good fight needs to talk to Trump directly and say, what do you need from me and what can I do? Directly. Don't go by who knows under him, who's for him and not for him. He will direct you to somebody, but just go to Trump. Go to Trump. Everybody go to Trump. I mean, if you're trying to get to world peace and stop pedophilia and do all this shit, go directly to, he's my boss, man. They just love watching me flounder because I have a gift that they don't have, which is like this subconscious connection with the vibe thing and just my experiences that I've gone through that nobody else could have, like just being observant and even just going through the jail system. I'm trying to get information out to them that can help them make decisions and things. Okay, so I went through that jail system, but I'm going to go through Stand By Me and see, and we're just going to go through the movie. I did this, when did I do this? I did this on December 15th, 7:07, I guess it was p.m. December 15th, once 13, 14 was Sunday, 15 was a Monday. Yeah, because I remember the way I found out, I was walking home from work and on December 15th is when I found out Rob Reiner died. I didn't even know after all this. I didn't even find out on the 15th, 24 hours after that tweet. I didn't see it. I guess I'm not on Twitter, so I can't see some of this shit. But it came up finally, Rob Reiner something, but it was it was way later I found out. So that night I decided to go through the movie and let's just see what's going on with the movie. So here, I'll tell you right now, it's got a lot of smoking. They'll describe it as a teen, Look at this. The film follows the adventurous trip into the woods of 4 teenagers. They're not teenagers. They're 11 and 12-year-olds. That's not teen. That's not teenager. They're trying to say teenagers because they're trying to avoid the fact that it's a pedophile, total pedophile movie, gay pedophile movie. Because the character played by the main character writer is a little gay boy coming of age, and then River Phoenix plays like his love interest, and it's like a gay coming of age fantasy thing, like the way these two react. And then of course River Phoenix was murdered, and it probably has to do with this. And then we have this guy Corey Feldman, Jewish, has been in the midst of all sorts of pedophile shit going on, but this is pedophile central. So the interestingly enough, and this is probably Trump. This is probably a Trump 4D thing, but it opens up with the main guy. This guy, the River Phoenix character, grew up and was stabbed in a restaurant for being a hero. Stabbed, just like supposedly Rob Reiner in his phone. So that comes from the movie. That's Trump. So you open the movie where he's talking, the main character writer, the little gay boy, is talking about his love interest, non-gay River Phoenix, getting murdered as an adult for being a hero in a restaurant or something, stabbed him to death in the neck. Attorney fatally stabbed in a restaurant. All right, let's go through this. So it opens with the boys smoking cigarettes and playing poker. The pedophilia dream it's not the dream, but the fantasy is always in all these movies. You can tell the pedophilia because they have prepubescent children behaving like adults and talking about sex like adults. So you just have adults in child bodies is the pedophilia fantasy and dream. So this is like he's acting like he has little children act like. Now Rob Reiner's not a pedophile, but to get the movie made and I mean, you can't. What can you say? I don't know. He's probably Lolita syndrome. You can't say somebody is or isn't a pedophile, but he's very talented, and the only way you get movies made, a lot of times and promoted, is to do what the little pedophile fantasies are, and they're planted in here. And it's like you think it's harmless, and it possibly is, but you're going to find out behind the scenes there's shit going on. In the future, this is just going to be bad news. And they're going to label Rob Reiner as a pedophile when he just could not say no to the pedophiles. If you could get people like in Cheers, if you can get the talented Jewish males who are just very talented, or the gay males, if you can get them together, and then you also throw into the mix somebody who can say no to the pedophile shit, then you'll get something really good going on. This was still good, but it's just got pedophile shit. Your garbage cans are empty and your dog's pregnant. I don't know. So this is the gay kid. There's not gay in the movie, but he's obviously gay and not gay, and River Phoenix. So here we go. Corey Feldman, they're all smoking cigarettes. This is how they open them up, playing poker, smoking cigarettes. Then you get the redheaded kid. They also have a lot of redheaded references. If you can get a redheaded kid acting like an adult, with sexual innuendo, then you're really hit the jackpot. His older brother, they're all smoking. Kiefer Sutherland, redhead. Get some redheads in there smoking cigarettes. Sexual innuendos, couple of redheads. She's a Catholic. They're all like that, talking about girls being misogynistic. The kid's gone. Cigarette. So they go on. I got some Winstons. They're talking now. They're advertising cigarettes. All pedophile shit. Pedophile. Anytime you have cigarettes and kids, you get pedophiles going on. Redheads, cigarettes, kids acting like adults. I hawked them off my old man's dresser. So they got some cigarettes, one apiece after supper, talking to like, that's cool. They're acting like adults and cigarettes. That's when a cigarette tastes best after supper. It is a cigarette ad. Tobacco swamp, pedophilia. Right. Okay, Corey Feldman. And while you guys are dragging your candy asses, talk about assholes. There's a lot of butt references. And while you guys are dragging on halfway across the state and back, I'll be waiting for you on the other side. Halfway across, relaxing. And use your left hand to do that or your right hand. So they have a sex joke. They have conversations that regular teenage boys don't have. It involves way more sex than they do and penis size comparisons and just gay shit. So these are gay male adults conversations that they projected onto little kids in this movie. And that's like a pedophile, gay pedophile fantasy. So these are all the writing of this, and this would be, I don't know what the book is, Stephen King's book, but whoever wrote the script to this was, all these parts are adult gay males in a little porn fantasy going on. And then they had little kids saying all this shit with the cigarette ads and everything. So this is a gay line. Oh, you use your left hand, your right hand to stand and do nothing. Like they're laughing about. You wish, like why don't you cock your dick? It'd be a small meal. They're talking about penis size and dicks and gay men do this. They're smoking. Nothing like a smoke after a meal. Little redheaded kid. Yeah, I cherish these moments. What did I say? I cherish these moments. Gordy, they're trying to, they're romanticizing this and, oh, it was the best coming of age story in history and all this pedophile bullshit promotion. So, of course it's going to be promoted this way. It's got one of the highest rating movies of all time. Gay pedophile cigarette ads for teenage boys. It's not having adult, gay male adult conversations. Yeah, coming of age. My ass. This is not, they're trying to forge the memories of non-gay men are trying to say, well, I don't have a memory of doing this, but they're trying to replace that memory with this. This is how you should be acting, you non-gay men. This is the manly thing. River Phoenix is like the manly man, and this is that he, could have this. But one day, this kid's gay, get an idea. The greatest revenge idea a kid ever had was, maybe next week. I don't remember. This is brand new skirt. Had this brand new skirt on. Oh, he's telling a story. It was brown and it had dots. Oh, so this kid got wrongfully accused of stealing milk money, and the person to blame is a woman, of course. So they got their woman hating digs in here too. Chris Chambers, it's like the woman was to blame for everything. Do you think anyone would have believed it? It was a woman who did something and blamed him, so there it is. So the other thing is, when I'm doing the rom-com thing, anytime you get a male calling a woman a bitch, it's not DQ'd, it's not disqualified completely, but it's knocked down a notch. So, oh my God, people, it's like, it just broke my fucking heart. All the things that were knocked down out of my top 11 list, which would be You've Got Mail, like one of the best rom-coms ever. Number 1, number 2, it's top 3, whatever it is, and I had to knock it down to the top 66 list because I reviewed all this stuff, and Tom Hanks talks to his buddy in the movie is Dave Chappelle, or his coworkers. Dave Chappelle, of all people, playing this coworker, but he says, yeah, she's a bitch, and I said, oh, fuck me, fuck shit. So I had to knock You've Got Mail off the top 11 list. And I am being extremely strict on this because I don't give a fuck. In the future, we're going to find out there was some shit going on behind the scenes. And you can't separate the two. it's just gay male influences. It's just, in the future it's going to be shown as dated to have a male call a woman a bitch. Women can call women bitch. Men could say life's a bitch, and they can call another man a bitch, which happened in another movie. But a man calling a woman a bitch, and here they are, little kids. You think that bitch would have tried that if it had been? So little boys calling women bitches, that's gay fucking buttfucker pedophile shit going on. Okay, so stop it. Don't put that in rom-coms. And in real life, if you see, like when my son said something about a bitch, seriously, they weren't joking. There was from influences when he was in, it was a gay male friend, they didn't even realize this kid was gay, and he's like his best buddy, and that came from him. So if it's a male calling a woman a bitch, like seriously, that word should not come out of their mouth. They're either gay or they're influenced by gay dudes. They think that's cool. So this was definitely that. From The View, they had taken the money. If she had that skirt, so this is all gay fucking buttfucker shit. So then they get into a swamp. This is supposed to be really funny, but it's more gay pedophilia, which is he had a leech on his penis, of course. So you have to focus on the penis. This little kid, the gay character in this thing. I mean, they're not saying he's gay here, but he's obviously in love with the River Phoenix thing, and they're like if this was a bunch of adults out there, it's like he wants to get the River Phoenix to focus on his penis. So they put a leech on it, and they're all in their underwears, of course. So you got the gay pedophilia the film crew, and everybody, like, you need to get River Phoenix in his underwear. And that was the whole purpose of this whole movie. Like, they weren't sure it would be funded, but then somewhere along the way they said River Phoenix is going to be in his underwear, and it just got green lighted all over the place. And we're going to film it, and they have pictures of this, and so that was great. Pussy. What's your problem? He had a leech on his balls. Oh, you gotta have yeah. Eat shit, you eat shit, stop it, pussy, four-eyed psycho. Okay, so that was all pedophile shit. And you say, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with having a movie that purposely was made to be soft porn for pedophiles? Go ahead. I'm just telling you what it is. And I'm telling you there's more to it, meaning if it's here, it means somewhere else there's some little kids being... If they're making these concessions for their artwork, they're making concessions to allow gay pedophiles to suck their little baby dicks. That's what I'm saying. Why did he have to die? He hates me. Oh, his brother died, or somebody died. Oh, his brother died. The other thing is to gain... oh, yeah, this is very gay. It's like, oh... So death he wants to be close to him, so you're going to be a great writer someday. I mean, they're having adult conversations, and this is a gay male fantasy again for this kind of male closeness. This is not bonding the way this is gay male bonding. This is a gay guy, and he's just fantasizing about a non-gay guy bonding with him in this way over the death. They'll kill people to get this kind of sympathy. The gay man. You might even write about us guys, even if you... I guess I'd have to be pretty hard up. Oh, I guess I'd have to be pretty hard. They're making little double entendres about his penis again, I guess. Talking about their underwear. I think I just turned my Fruit of the Looms into a fudge factory. That's it, your ass is grass. So then the big kids come, the little faggot, so that's very gay. The only people who write that shit is gay people. This is your last chance, you little faggot. Why don't you go home and fuck your mother some more? So then the little gay kid comes out and he's protecting his lover here. Yeah, you're not taking him, nobody's taking him. Look at me. Look at me. Please stick your penis up my anus. As an adult. Suck my fat one. See? Suck my fat one. Whoever told you you had a fat one? Let your hands. This kid said suck my fat one, not this one. This one said suck my fat one, and then they're talking about penis size. Yes, River Phoenix is now talking about the penis of this gay kid. Whoever told you you had a fat one? And he says, biggest one in 4 counties. Yeah, that's real 12-year-olds saying this. Like, they care about penis size, and they just want to get little kids talking about penises amongst each other. They don't. You really think this ever happened between 2 12-year-old kids? Is that they're talking about their penis sizes? He was stabbed. So this is the guy. This is the end. He was stabbed in the throat. He died almost instantly. Although I hadn't seen him in more than 10 years, I know I'll miss him forever. So that was that kid. So the kid who died is the other one. Blah, 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 blah. He was stabbed. I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone? So even here they say 12. So why are they saying 4 teenagers? Is 12 teenager? No, because it got flagged for being kind of pedophilia later, and now they're trying to pretend like they were older than they were, but that's total pedophilia shit. They were not teenagers. They were not 4 teenagers. They were 4 little 12-year-old boys. And this is Pedophile Central, period. Directed by Rob Reiner. Very talented, though, but, you know, you got to have people on the set who could say no to the pedophiles. But it wouldn't have been greenlit. It would not have been greenlit if they didn't allow all that pedophilia, and it wouldn't have, you know, whatever. Is that a bad thing? Give money to somebody who is just as creative and could have done something better that wasn't a pedophile story? It wasn't that. And when you look at it now, I'm just saying in the future it's just going to be a pedophile movie based on the novella, The Body by Stephen King. So we're going to segue now. So that's that. Okay, bye. Segue was, I don't know, this just happened to be around the same time. When was this? What was that? Anyway, segue. All right, bye segue. It's just there. Just telling me it's time to move on to the next one. Okay, so we're back to our Wordle Muses. This was today's. It's 11/14. This was January 5th. Philly, and I owe you one word. I owe you guys a lot. I owe you guys a lot of A, B, C, D, E, F, U. A, B, C, D, E, F, U. Yeah. Gail covers. I love that. It's funny. I kind of miss Twitter, but sometimes I don't. Everything happened for a purpose. But Philly means horse, and the reason that came... Everybody's like, yes, the world does revolve around me. This was definitely triggered by me. It was the whole... the Brown shooting and it's all related, if not triggered by me, but I was in the middle of it, and the whole Rob Reiner thing he was lifted out of there because it's Pedophile Central there, and I'm over the target, and I'll show you what I mean. Philly came up today. Why was Philly and Wordle Muses talk to me? Anybody following me with the Wordle discussions for the last 2 years knows that Wordle follows the shit I'm doing, and then they'll say, oh no, that's a coincidence, or no, that's just AI, and you're going, yeah, even if it's AI, it's kind of exciting that this big word game that everybody knows, even if it's AI, they're definitely following shit I do, or I can guide it. For instance, for Philly, this is for you, girl. This is for Whitney Cummings. She's a big horse person. And we're just trying to help you. Even the Wordle people are trying to help you.
That what you're feeling.
Okay? Just hang in there. Damn it. Can you...
This fits so nice under
Can
my
you believe
jeans.
that...
It is
I can't
going
believe
to
this
make
girl
my
was
curves
like...
look amazing. Look.
She's in the middle of...
Oh, hey, y'all. It's me.
So... Oh, this was just yesterday. I think she did this one yesterday. Okay, so I'm back to watching her, and it just was her worst podcast lately. She's really taking off. I I just saw a video yesterday that's saying she's gaming the numbers so that they're fake hits on her videos. I don't think so. I think everybody else is fake, and I think hers are real, because the good ones that I think are good are like in the millions, and then the ones that I don't think are very good are what am I doing? I gotta sit up. Come on, cat. Okay. So the ones okay. All right, okay. So the videos that I don't think are very good don't get that many hits. I think they are real hits, and everybody else is getting fake hits. But so just stick to your good stuff, Whitney, and you're gonna have trouble with the sponsors. I know you hate doing all the sponsor stuff. Just do this shit. Just do the shit if you want to keep doing it, or just sit out. But so we're gonna read another comment that I just left yesterday, and I'm just trying to help you guys, all the talented women out there, that and hopefully when I'm doing this next year, there's going to be a list that who have died and who were killed. Anybody younger than, even older people. Right now, I'm trying to protect Nancy Myers. Is another one. She's older, and when they go, nobody suspects it. But they're like when Betty White went, same thing, man. That was a murder. So if they're older, especially. So Nancy Myers is number one right now. Jewish rom-com lady, right in the midst of all the pedophile shit. Pedophiles love the rom-coms, and that's where they do a lot of their, propaganda shit. So, yeah. So rom-com queen. Nora Ephron was murdered for being involved or bucking the system a little bit. She probably said no to a few pedophiles for her rom-coms, and they just freaking murdered her. Like she refused to have little kids smoking or something, or Nancy Myers, almost every one of her rom-coms was disqualified for me because they all had smoking in it. Yeah, so just if you say no to them, though, you'll get murdered. So who knows? I'm not judging here. I'm just saying it's time to protect these people. So we're going to protect, and Whitney, yeah, you had a tobacco ad recently, not last time. I mean, you were advertising for cigarette smoking. So if she's doing the cigarette ads, do it. I told Kelly that for now, just do it, but maybe not. Maybe it's time to say no. It's probably time to say no to the pedophiles. Maybe. Use your instincts. I'm going to read, okay? So in this one, she visited her family in England. I'm sure they're being threatened, like my own kids. I have this fucking creep hole over here who keeps writing to me, and it's either my gay baby daddy, which is fine, but it's a creepy, and they did the same. Remember, like when I was getting arrested, they go straight for the family first, and they try to turn your family against you first. And that's what they did to her. She went to visit her brother, half-brother, and a stepbrother, I guess, or something, in England, and his wife and their 2 kids. And she brought her son, and she came back, and now she's all anti-America because they probably told her, look, you're causing a lot of problems for us here. You need to cool it, or something like that. And that's what this, like, they go through the family. And I'm sorry about that, Whitney. I'm just telling you, now, it's probably more dangerous to do that. It's probably more dangerous to pander to that or to give into that. Because what happens is you try to compromise, and you probably should. I'm not somebody who can. I don't have a choice because I went a certain direction a long time ago. And if you go back on that, it doesn't pay off. Like I could never have a mortgage or something. Like to constantly, I mean, it would have been good if I wanted to get legitimate. And, and once you have a mortgage, you have to behave a certain way, and all this thing. But I can't. Once you do a certain thing, it's you have to stand up and fight. And it's also my nature, like fight or flight. Like I wouldn't know if I came across a bear, you're supposed to either play dead or run or don't run or do this or that. It doesn't matter. I will constantly stand up and fight and growl because it's just me. And my fight or flight is constantly set to fight. So I will do that, and I think it's more dangerous a lot of times to run or to play dead. And now if you want to play dead or run or do that, it could be more dangerous. Just stand up and fight, baby. Maybe. In my case, it's just, I gotta fight because this guy, I have this creepo coming in because I've been silent for a long time. They think I'm giving in or something, and you gotta keep fighting because with Kelly, she will compromise and do this, and then you become a magnet because everywhere, the pedophiles are imploding everywhere. So they're going to look for where there's a safe haven. And once they get whiff of the idea that either you or Kelly or these guys are safe havens, now you've got a million of them coming at you. And I'm not sure that's a good thing. In her case, it could be because it's a good indicator. Like I'm telling you, whoever's having you say these things, they're freaking pedophiles. So sniff them out. And Kelly Clarkson show, I'll show you in a minute what I meant. Okay, let's just read. 30 years ago, she was putting down America as being a bunch of whiners, how we got into a rickety boat to get here just to have free speech, and how stupid that was, and we should have all just stayed in England, and how the country is founded by a bunch of idiots who cry babies and things just because they wanted their freedom. They got on these rickety boats. Are you serious? And she doesn't believe that. They were accusing her of being the young whiny child because she's the youngest in her family. I am the youngest. I get that. I always got that from my older brothers and siblings or whatever. They're very jealous of you getting more attention than that, whatever it is. So I don't know what that is, but you came back and it's not good. It was not a good podcast. It's your worst one. Oh, but look, you almost got 1 million views. You usually get over 1 million. Maybe it will go over 1 million, but it wasn't that good. Okay. She talked about, so 30 years ago, I got on a rickety boat, without realizing it, called Tell the Pedophile-Supported Gay Nazi Buttfuckers Running Pfizer to Stick It Up Their Smelly Buttholes. So, I swear sometimes, and sometimes I don't, and I just do whatever I feel like, because sometimes, maybe subconsciously, it's the right thing to do is to needle the buttfuckers, and sometimes it's not. And right now, I didn't care. I don't want to go through and I just felt like needling them, and it feels so good. Tell the pedophile-supported gay Nazi buttfuckers running Pfizer to stick it up their smelly buttholes. Get me fired, whatever, I don't care. I survived, at least with my life, if not anything else. But once you survive that, you have no choice but to keep getting on rickety boats, Whitney. I'm not being brave or stupid, just practical. It's like inadvertently getting sucked into the mafia. Once you take a certain path at an early age, I'm talking about when I sued Pfizer, I don't care. I could be a good girl and shut up and not say a thing. They're going to go after my kids. They're just not going to let you go onto the other team. And I can't anyway. I just can't say no. Once you can't unsee certain things. Once I went through that lawsuit, it was like, you can't unsee the corruption that I saw. And it was really bad. And once you went through the family court the way I did, I can't unsee that. There's the rest I did, you cannot unsee the shit that you see. And it's not a matter of getting proof and telling everybody. It's like, now how do I use this information to, help others to, we'll see how this goes. Anyway, it's like inadvertently, once you take a certain path at an early age, the gay Nazi buttfuckers relentlessly come after you to do their bidding, which I am just now realizing is all related to the common goal of giving pedophiles access to little kids. Which is an insatiable goal, making it more dangerous to not get on any and all rickety boats that carry you away from placating the gay Nazi pedophiles. Like, if you avoid getting on that rickety boat, going to that jail, saying whatever, shutting up, once you're on a certain path that you are on, you're like me. You've already said it. The worm is out of the bottle. Nobody's going to believe you're going to stay shut up, okay? You're very good at what you do. Do it, maybe not this year if you don't feel like it's safe. But it could be safe to keep quiet, because they'll think that it's working. Threatening will work, but then it just gets worse and worse, okay? Because there just will be more and more. You're just going to attract more and more trying to guide, trying to control you. Carry you away from placating, For your security, trust your instincts above all. That's for all the women out there, all the talent. Trust your instincts, okay? But with all the swamps imploding like mad, I know I've been saying that for what seems like a long time, but in the course of human history, the last few decades of imploding gay Nazi buttfucker swamps that have been running humankind for millennia up until now isn't even a blink of the eye. I mean, it's funny how it seems like it's been 10 years ago I said this, 20 years ago I said this, when we're talking thousands of years of this shit now coming to a head, and it's all very exciting, but 20 years, it's not even a blink of the eye. So this year, like when I say it's going to be a year before you do this or whatever it is, or you're going to be in jail for 6 months or whatever, it's just nothing relative to the shit going on a big scale. It's very exciting in human history where we are. They will try to cancel you and torpedo you and not invite you back to do the CNN New Year's, because the religion swamp has imploded a lot since they sponsored you last year to trash the 3 other swamps. They sponsored her last year, the religion swamp, and when you go through her, if you think about things in terms of swamps the way I do, you could pick out all the people she roasted, and it was all the 3 other swamps. I mean, she even criticized like the WNBA, which was Caitlin Clark. Like what? Like that was the weirdest thing, because Caitlin Clark exploded last year at this time before the New Year's, and then she's saying nobody's watching the WNBA, and she's supposed to be a joke, and it fell flat, and it was the butt fuckers getting her to attack Caitlin Clark, who represents Trump. So yeah, that was weird, and it was just like it's not funny. So she's very funny when she does her own thing, but you could also tell when she's doing somebody else's bidding, because it's not funny, and she is funny. So because it has to have truth to it, and when she's so that was not, she was being promoted to say that. She knows it's not funny. She knows it's not true, that nobody's not watching the WNBA. Anyway, I hope this drivel I gotten gradually worse. Okay, but hang in there. Because of religion. But hang in there, Whitney. I don't believe you believe a thing you said in this podcast, by the way. Your podcasts have gotten gradually worse since I left a comment saying you are engaged to a closeted gay man. That was that one other comment I read. Anyway, I hope this drivel doesn't bleed into your stand-up routine. If so, just take a year off, in my humble opinion. Wait until after the 2026 elections. Trump controls the elections, but only up to a certain point. You're still going to need to get out and vote, people. I mean, I don't vote, but maybe I will next election. But, he still needs certain votes, but for making the Congress he needs. It would make, and that includes Democrats or Republicans. He was very upset in Minnesota when a Democrat was murdered. She wasn't outwardly a Trumper, but he was hoping she would run for Senate. And then there was also, you could tell when a real person is killed that Trump really liked or supported behind the scenes, or there was something that went bad in his 4D chess move. And that's going to happen. So listen, Trump man, if I happen to be killed because you're using me in your 4D chess moves and whatever it is, use me, and then I get killed for it, all I want is that you react the way you did to them. I could tell. Like they would say, well, what about this person? And he goes, who? He pretends like he doesn't even know them, when it really hurt his heart. And the two were the women who died when the helicopter was remotely controlled into that airplane, and they blamed it on the woman pilot. He knew that woman pilot, you could tell, and they were going, oh, it's DEI and all that, and that hurt him when they killed her that way. And then when that one politician from Minnesota was shot by that butt fucking piece of pedophile gay Nazi asshole Tim Waltz or whatever his name is, and what's the one that were sleeping with each other all the time? Who was it? Douglas Emhoff, that other fucking butt fucking piece of gay Nazi asshole swamp shit. I think he's also Jewish, but yeah, that's Kamala Harris's husband, Tim Waltz. These guys are sticking their dicks up each other's asses that whole time during that. But yeah, those guys had that one politician, or something backfired, but she was murdered by these guys, or their clonies in Minnesota, remember? And that was that hurt him. They said, well, what about that murder? And he says, who is that? I don't know who that is. And it was just like, anyway, I see it. I see it. I see you, boss. I know that hurt. And if something happens to me this year and they get to me because you're using me for some 4D chess move, all I ask is that you have that same hurt in your heart. I hope it hurts. I hope it hurts. Don't feel bad for me, but know that, it wasn't a wasted life. It wasn't a wasted whatever. I really trust you're dealing. I really trust that you're trying the best you can to protect as many people as you can. And I hope it doesn't hurt you too much. I hope it doesn't prevent you from keeping on with the main goal, which is taking, you keep doing what you're doing. All right. So why am I on this tangent? All right. Because we're going to lose some people this year. I just don't know who. And anyway, I hope this drivel doesn't bleed. By the way, the history I learned, until the 2026 elections, it would make me happy to not have to worry about yet another targeted, talented female celeb out on the stage all the time. So it would be fine. If you just I'm not going to do stand up for a year, it would be fine with me. Okay, just get off the stage. Good Lord, people. By the way, the history I learned, she's talking about the history that says that the Pilgrims came here for religious freedom, and that's not what I heard. I think that I don't know, that's changing. It should be changing because that's not the truth. They came over for the history I learned in school. I learned that they came, and you learn it, and it's still out there that is gay Nazi propaganda. By the way, that they came here for religious freedom. That's religion swamp bullshit. But the history I learned, the real history, is that the Pilgrims left England for financial freedom, not religious freedom, since taxation without representation, which is what the 16th Amendment created here in the U.S., i.e. we're going back to Old England, is akin to slavery, even to this day. So, yes, we are currently slaves to the government, like every other country of the world, because we're being taxed without representation. But not for much longer. Okay, you hang in there. Trump is working on that shit, and this time it's going to stick, and it's all the other countries of the world have to follow our lead, including England. So you got thrashed by England because there's a lot of growing pains we have to go through, but they're going to hate Trump, and they're going to try to get at you and get at your family. But hang tough. I see you, Whitney. Trump sees you, and best of all, Wordle sees you. Because after I posted this, at 11 o'clock last night, and by midnight they put up Philly. Filly, the horse lady. Okay, that was for you. Today's Wordle was in your honor, so just hang in there, okay? I hope you're seeing this, Whitney. And you too, Boo. My baby girl, Boo. Hang in there, both of you. All right. So if you go, let's talk about Stand By Me. So now you're saying, why do you think the world revolves around you? These are all coincidences. Wordle is not paying attention to you. Wordle is not responding to your post to her and supporting her by putting Philly, or they're not all the stuff I do at Lowe's. There was one where I meant to tell you, Kelly, baby girl, that even if I'm silent here, the Wordle muses have made it very clear that they can see what I'm doing here before doing any videos. I was trying to do something with the movie Sirens. Also, they know that you're my sirène de l'enfer, my siren from hell. But I was looking at the movie Sirens only because I was trying to do some stuff. That was disqualified for smoking. There's so many, most of the movies are disqualified from my rom-com for smoking. But there's a movie called Sirens with Hugh Grant, one of my favorite he's so irresistibly good in all the rom-coms. I don't know what it is about his personality, but he's just so good. And he's on my number 2. The rewrite was good, but he's and then 2 Weeks Notice is he's on my top 11 list on that one. But he did the movie called Sirens and disqualified for his smoking in there. And I was doing some work on it, and then the very next Wordle was Siren, and they're just telling me, and that's not. There's a whole bunch of examples of that. Anybody following me on here knows that I'm talking to the Wordle muses. I'll film, what was it, Citrus, and as I roam down the aisle, the home decor aisle at my work, I scanned over some lemons. So lemon wasn't the Wordle, and home decor wasn't the Wordle. It was fruit. But I did go to the front cashier to get the gummy fruit, and I did get fruit. But the next day, or the day after, it was the next day, the Wordle was decor. So they knew which aisle I was walking down. So I did the decor. They knew I was cheating a little bit by filming the lemon trees. But yeah, that was decor. That was fun. So the Wordle muses are definitely having fun with me. And they definitely have told me that they could see everything I'm doing and all these things I'm preparing and all the things that they just don't know what's on my mind. Like, why was I looking at the movie Sirens? It was because I couldn't. I don't want to explain that here. Well, okay. Dear Wordle Muses, I was spending all the last 2 weeks at my daughter's house taking care of her 2 cats and my 2 cats while she was in San Francisco. And I like her TV because she has, I've canceled almost everything. She has like Netflix, Disney, Hulu. She has all that stuff. But she also has this one, what is it? Roku TV. She has something that has access to all these things. What is it? TCL. But when you get there, that's, if you're trying to look for movies, you get on there and you do search, and every movie there has a rating, 6.8, 2.5, and I was recording all the ratings. It's not Rotten Tomatoes and it's not something else. It's just their own rating. And a lot of people who are trying to find a movie to watch, they'll actually look at the ratings. And what I was looking for was, I didn't have the rating for Sirens, and I was looking for that. And sometimes it's unrated on that thing, but most of them were rated. And that's why I found out, like, one of the lowest rated Rob Reiner movies was, after I did this, I was just getting ratings for everything on my list. I had like 300 movies or something, and I was just trying to get all the ratings while I had access to her TV, because I don't have access to it now. So I got ratings for everything, and I was trying to find a pattern, and the pattern was the pedophile rom-coms, the ones that had pedophile references in them, according to me, all had ratings that were above what they really are. Like, I rated them for goodness or not, and in my view, they were like medium or this and that, and they were always way more than they should have been. So they get more ratings. The pedophiles controlled those ratings. And the lowest rating Rob Reiner rom-com is the best one. Alex and Emma was like 5.5 rating. It was like, what the hell was that? You know, nobody's going to watch that. Most of the ratings, if you're 6 or above, are 7 and 8. And most of the pedophile ones were like way up there. And the smoking ones were way up. And so I was trying to find the rating for Sirens, and something else happened, and then the next day Sirens. That's all I was doing. I'm not describing this. It's just, if you were wondering what I was doing on my computer with Sirens, that's what I was doing, the movie Sirens. But I think you could have also been asking me what's going on with my boo, my siren from hell. Anyway, all right. So let's go see what's going on. Stand By Me. Stand By Me, the song. And I go to song meanings a lot. I love song meanings. I haven't commented there in 15 years, I think. I left the comment. But I do go often to read everything. But I did leave a comment. Watch. Stand By Me, the song, because of the movie. If you go to song meanings and you look up the song Stand By Me, and you look down the comments, where is it? I think it's on page 2. All right, it's on page 2. I'm just showing you like more coincidences, and they are related. And this is why I throw spaghetti against the wall, because there are people can see things that I don't see. I'm just giving you all my coincidences, okay? and my wordle coincidences. So look at the comment I left 24 days ago. I used to think the singer of this song was requesting that somebody stand by him or her in times of trouble. Won't you stand by me in times of trouble? But it is the opposite. The singer is saying that in times of trouble, come stand by me and I will help you through it. So I kind of, that's what the song is now. It kind of had an opposite meaning than what you think when you're singing it. And I left that comment, and I felt compelled to do this. But when you say, when did you leave that comment? Well, when did I leave that comment? I had to like renew a password or something to actually log into some meetings. It was on December 13th at 6:23 a.m. 24 hours before Rob Reiner, the director of Stand By Me, the pedophile movie, was murdered. Like, what? Why am I commenting on a song called Stand By Me 24 hours before Rob Reiner is murdered, when Stand By Me became the. Okay, well, I'll tell you why, because it's just a coincidence. Because, okay, Stand By Me. Let me erase this. So remember when I said, okay, so I posted something on December 7th, it caused the mass shooting. I posted something here on Whitney on December 14th, earlier in the morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. 9, 10, 11. What is 11? 8 a.m. Pacific time. That triggered the either the murder of Rob Reiner, which I don't think they were murdered. I think somebody came and airlifted them the hell out of there. But it was as a result of this. But what came before that? Well, what came before that is a comment I did on December 13th. And it has to do with Sirius Radio. So we're going to read this comment.
What is an SOP? So here's a misconception. A lot of people think an SOP is just a boring manual that nobody ever reads.
December 13th. Let's read this comment. I think it's here. What am I doing? Is it here? Oh, it is here. Oh, it's okay. We'll get rid of it there. Okay, so there's a place that I try to leave all my comments. So if you come here to this video, wherever you've been, remix, visualizer, and you do sort by newest first a lot of times, but you don't. But here's the one that I left on December 13th. I had to quit SiriusXM to save. So I went and I subscribed to SiriusXM because Kelly has she does her Kelly's 12. She has like a channel over there that I go to see once a month, where she just has some content over there. So but I just stopped. I had to quit. I was just trying to save some money. I also just for a tiny little bit. I'm okay now, but there was a time when I just cut out everything, including my Flixier, which I finally got back. Yay! But it was like $100 a month in subscriptions. It seemed like, and I canceled them all except maybe Peacock or something. But I had to quit SiriusXM to save moolah while simultaneously giving the finger to the gay Nazi tobacco swamp a-holes running this streaming service into the ground. But they just offered 3 months for $1, so I signed up on December 13th. But why am I talking about the gay Nazi swamp stuff? So we're going to talk about all the swamp stock stuff right here. Look at all this stuff a little bit later in this video. And but let's do Sirius Holdings. And I think it was right around here. I think it was at the end of 2023, or maybe it was the end of 2024. One of those two. I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before last. It was the end of 23. Well, I have my feelers. I have my monitors. I have my various things. I don't do it consciously. I don't go, I'm going to do this. I just input from there. And one of the inputs is when Kelly goes on and does her Kelly's 12 picks. She picks 12 songs and talks about them. And if they're tobacco related, it's just whoever's controlling. Some of those things are her own picks, but some of them are dictated to her by swamp people who give her access. So Sirius Radio, somewhere around here, did this, like she had a Christmas list, and it was all fucking tobacco shit. I got so pissed. I said, "You guys are going down the drain. Your tobacco swamp bullshit." And I said something like, "Sell Siri, SIRE, sell the stock because it's tobacco swamp and it's imploding." And I did that, like, I do that sometimes. And I'm usually pretty right if there are no other factors like Trump coming in to save it. You could just tell when things are about ready to implode, and with my swamp shit. And that was, if you had done that. So, and sometimes the timing is off. Like, I don't know exactly when, but I know that they're tobacco supported. When they did that, I knew it was tobacco supported, and tobacco was imploding, and it was just going to be a bad stock. So that's right around here. And if not, it doesn't matter, because the next year is the same thing. They're just still going down. So that's what I mean when I said here, when I said in this comment, the tobacco supported whatever, running the tobacco swamp pieces of shit, running the company to the ground. Now, one thing I meant to say is, right now, like every company, every government entity, the FBI, they all have good people and bad people, and the bad people are a minority, but because it's pedophiles and gay Nazis, and they just have motivation and hatred to control hundreds of people. So 5 pedophiles equals 500 good people, and it takes a long time to purge these people, and Trump's trying. Everybody's purging right now. I could sense it. I could feel it. There's evidence of that, and I'll show you later. But when I say the pedophiles, that doesn't mean Sirius Radio is bad. It means there's some good people there who are they're just being overrun by swamp people, and I'm not sure when they're going to be able to be purged. And Kelly's just trying to deal with people wherever she is. There's swamp people and not swamp people, and she's just trying to get through it and do her art and do her work and survive and stay alive. And so you say, well, if they're tobacco swamp and pedophiles, why does she air on them? Well, where else are you going to air? Like, artists have that's too much to ask of artists to do what I do, which is, or whatever, and you're not going to judge them because every single one of them is guilty of it. Like even Whitney Cummings saying Elvis is a pedophile, even just doing that, she's pandering to the pedophiles who want this message to go out. Okay, because she wants to be on the air and whatever it is. I mean, or she wants to do stand-up and get her. So everybody's going to compromise on this shit. It's as old as the hills, this kind of thing between art and the patrons who support the art. All right, and this is, in the future, it's going to get better because they really will support the true artists who have a message that isn't pedophilia and smoking cigarettes and doing this shit. Because we're not going to have gay people, and we're also going to have, they're going to run out of the money from the corruption and the 16th Amendment, all blah, 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 blah. Okay. Had to quit Sirius. I did, and now I redid it on the 13th. I'm glad the new Marin Moore. So I'm reviewing 3 different Kelly's 12. I think there was the there's the Dreamsicle, and the Kelly's 12 for I Got You. Oh, there was only 2 of them right now. She didn't do the Christmas one yet. Or she did Thankful. So I Got You, Thankful, and the Marin Moore's album. So I'm reviewing 12 because I had quit Sirius a while back, and she did 12 months worth of stuff that I'm reviewing here. So the first one is, I'm glad the new Maris, she did a whole Kelly's 12, which was Maren Morris's album. I'm glad the new Maren Morris album, Dreamsicle, didn't have any cigarette mentions. I'm looking for where the cigarette ad is. Okay, though that one song that mentioned Holy Smoke a million times, thankfully not listed on Kelly's 12, I did review the album, was a pretty ridiculous indicator of how the imploding gay Nazi tobacco swamp a-holes are desperately trying to team up with an imploding gay Nazi religion swamp to maintain a millennia-old grip on the non-gay dumbass moron's penis. Laugh out loud. It's over, buttfuckers. Bye, Felicia Flush. So, the swamps are imploding and they'll gang up. And here's an example of that, by the way. Here's another example of the swamps. And I'll show you other indicators. There's Sirius. Okay. I'm reading this. This was posted. Okay. I think I can get rid of this. Okay, get rid of that one. Oh, okay. So here's an example of this. The Kelly Clarkson Show, for the last 2 weeks, I believe, have been showing reruns. The Christmas week, it was all reruns, but it was reruns of the Christmas shows they had done before. So Thursday, here is, they posted this, keeping the festivities going this week. They posted it on December 21st, which was Sunday, I guess, Monday 20. So Thursday was Christmas, and here's what they were playing. This was the rerun from an earlier Christmas Christmas episode. It was where they had Warren Zeiders on there doing the karaoke. This is just such bullshit. Okay, so here's the Kelly Clarkson Show. This is the Queen of Christmas as far as I'm concerned. She beats Mariah Carey. Either way, Queen or Princess of Christmas, you're telling me you're going to play on fucking Christmas Day for the Kelly Clarkson Show. You're going to not play what they played on Friday, the day after Christmas, which was Kelly singing a karaoke of any kind, of Christmas karaoke, any of her Christmas songs, but White Christmas. They play this on Friday. Either one, I don't care what, but on Christmas Day, you absolutely fucking have to play a rerun of the Kelly Clarkson Show, one of the Christmas ones, where she's singing, karaokeing a freaking Christmas song. That's what you do on Christmas Day. They don't do that. What was so special about this Thursday? I'll tell you what was special about that Thursday. They had two things. First, they had this guy, Warren Zeiders. Who the fuck is that? And he was doing this karaoke, which is just gay Nazi buttfucker pedophile shit. They're trying to, get money wherever they can. So they're selling the karaoke segment to all these pedophiles, right? And they're not letting Kelly do her own thing. They're trying to torpedo. When a company is purging the pedophile gay Nazi buttfuckers, and they're successful at it, you could always tell because it's so hard to purge them because they don't just leave. They'll bring everything with them. They'll leave behind. It's always a big show. Even at my own work, at Lowe's, they got rid of the store director was closeted gay. I don't think he was very good. I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying, when he left, they replaced him with an Hispanic woman. Oh my God, you can't get better than that. You cannot get better than replacing a white gay male with an Hispanic woman. And just in general. But the day she starts, there was a murder, or not a murder. There was a guy who died of a heart attack. I think it was a murder. But this is what happens when a gay guy is being replaced by somebody else. You can't just purge the gay Nazis. They will leave, but there will be a wake, and there will be trouble, and there will be shit. And you're never going to convince me that this guy, he was a coworker of mine, and he was older, but he's found dead in the bathroom on her first day of work. That's no fucking coincidence. That's gay Nazi buttfuckery. And, and that's just the way it is. So when they're being purged from Comcast and they're being purged from the Kelly Clarkson Show, they're doing the same thing. They're making sure she can't do any karaoke's. And they just do sabotage shit. And that's what's going on right now. But look at this shit. Look what they did here. Look what they played. How Great Thou Art by Warren Zeiders. I don't know. I don't think he's gay. But I looked at this. How great thou art is my Savior, my God, to thee, all this religious stuff. So that's Religion Swamp. The Religion Swamp buttfuckers at the Kelly Clarkson Show and NBC, NBC Universal, backing this up. But then I thought, oh, you know what? I just got through saying this. Look what I just got through saying. The Tobacco Swamp. What are the two swamps joining together here? With Maren Morris, it was the Tobacco Swamp and the Religion Swamp coming together for her. And look at this. So I go over to, as usual. Okay, that was Thursday. Okay, guys, this is okay. Let's just gotta get rid of this. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to YouTube. I do this with everybody. You go over to YouTube and you say Warren Zeiders cigarette lyrics. Show me what comes up, and of course something's gonna come up. But we're gonna see. if he...
One thing I've noticed about football fans is they all talk like the players can actually hear them. Proud of you. But when you have guys...
So it's a song called Dark Night. 1 year ago. It's like his latest release.
Lights burning up the highway, cigarette hanging on my lip.
Okay, so usually if it's in the first few lyrics, it's a cigarette ad. So here's a cigarette ad. So it's Tobacco Swamp shit. And I can almost predict 1,000% that this is that I was going to come over here and find him singing about cigarettes, okay? Butt fucker, whatever it is. So this is, if you're trying to find, baby girl, if anybody's trying to purge pedophile pieces of gay Nazi butt fucking shit from Comcast, the ones who are keeping her from doing karaoke's, the ones who are sucking baby dicks, they're not allowed to have babies on the set. I mean, I'm going through that later. This kind of thing. If you're serious about that, you're going to track down who was responsible for scheduling that particular episode on Christmas Day. Because it was a religion and tobacco swamp pedophile piece of shit over there. And just find out. It's just very easy to track them down. It's a lot harder said than done to actually get rid of them. But at least now you know who it is. And the first people that's going to be blamed for this is going to be kind of like, oh, it was a mistake. It was this, it was that. It's going to be these white women or a black woman did this. And it's going to be some stupid reason. And behind it is going to be them. But now I'm like, fire them too. Fire the fucking non-gay dumbass white women who did that, being controlled by the pedophiles, because they're just as dangerous. And I just start firing everybody who's doing this shit. Fucking pedophiles. Okay, so I'm glad I showed that example. Serious. Bye. Anyway, and then okay, we're gonna get back to you in a minute. I'm gonna finish reading this. All right, so this is how I know what the swamps are going on and what's going on. Okay, as much as my ears, thankfully, okay, dreamsicle, it was a pretty ridiculous indicator of how the imploding swamp a-holes, blah, 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 blah. Okay, oh, because it was holy smoke. Holy smoke is funny, it's like almost a metaphor, but holy, because that's the religious swamp, and smoke because they're not getting away with cigarette lyrics anymore, so now they're trying to put in the word smoke, the word nicotine, the words lighter, ashes, smoke instead of the word cigarette, because it's supposed to be subtle, but it's still all tobacco shit. And I'm not saying, oh, well, that doesn't cause teenagers to smoke. It's not causing teenagers to smoke anymore. It's, where's this money coming from? It's coming from tobacco, which is pedophiles. And as long as you're still pandering to pedophiles, even in this subtle way, there's still some shit. It means you're still allowing them to suck baby dicks. Okay? When we stop doing the fucking pandering and the fucking tobacco ads is when you know that they ran out of money, and then at the same time, while they're running out of money, we also get people growing spines and we get the posse together. And then together we will get rid of this shit. Okay, so that's all that is. As for the I Got You, so Kelly did a funny one, laughing my fucking ass off on this. She did one called, she was trying to do breakup songs or something, and then it turned out that she said I got you because because like half of them were her songs were the best ones. And by the way, so 6 of the songs on this were her own songs on the I Got You, for the breakup songs. By the way, it's Medicine, Flying at about 10,000 feet. So this is my list of my favorite songs of hers that are Medicine by a mile. It's her best one. Above the Ground. Then at 5,000 feet is Didn't I? Especially that line that I used when I made that video describing how fugly the canary diamond was. This is all inside jokes, people. Only in my jealously warped mind, of course, the damn ring was gorgeous and shined so brightly like the singer wearing it that it blinded entire audiences who saw you in concert live while wearing it, rumor has it. Possibly in Irvine. Then at maybe 1,000 feet, we have Since You've Been Gone and a couple of angry ones from the Chemistry album. Though quietly sad song Lighthouse, not on your Kelly's 12 of angry ones, was best on that album. We're just doing reviews of her songs right now. Then at ground level, every other angry breakup song in history. By the way, that might not be true. I haven't, if you listed them out, I might see some that are good too, but I really like Medicine. By the way, don't get so mad at people in the Would You Call That Love situation. There was a song, Would You Call That Love? And she got upset because somebody said they never loved you. Because it's about closeted gay people breaking up with their beards. I mean, they break up and they say, I never loved you the way you wanted me to. And she's upset with that, but it's not. They're just telling the truth. It happens a lot, and it's honest. And I'm guessing somebody was suggesting this song to you. Somebody was suggesting to you that maybe this was what really happened between you and Brand Fuck Butt Fuck. And death is not enough to get me to stop calling him that. Sorry, not sorry. And I'm also questioning whether he even died. Now, if he did die, Brand Fuck Butt Fuck, on August 7th, the day before I filed my lawsuit, he was murdered by, it just has to do with my lawsuit. It's very connected. And we're going to get into that when I do the lawsuit stuff. I think that's for my birthday later. I have some lawsuit stuff to file this week, and then my birthday's on January 11th, and this is going to be the birthday thing, is when I do the lawsuit stuff. And we're going to go over Brand Fuck Butt Fuck for sure. But he might not even be dead. I mean, that was also weird again. He was in debt, and he didn't want to be, he's not even okay, we're going to talk about that later. But I'm not going to stop calling him that shit. Fuck. Anyway, lazy is his biggest crime. Anyway, on that, I don't want to get into this yet. Okay. Anyway, on the subject of gay Nazi tobacco swamp butt fuckers, promoting Would You Call That Love and Good Goes the Bye, mediocre songs by overrated tobacco swamp gay Nazi creations, redheaded gay men Greg Kirsten and Shane McAnally, respectively, also indicated to me that you are still somehow indebted in a bad way to the tobacco swamp gay Nazi assholes. And I didn't realize this quite at this time, but tobacco swamp also means pedophiles. Oh, when was this? December 13th. Yeah, this was before I realized that there was a huge connection between the tobacco now directly and the pedophiles. Artists, and are therefore a security threat to you until the day you die, which according to my plans will be well after your 100th year of a long and healthy life. Hang in there, boo, working on it like mad as we speak, still working on it, and we'll be working on it until I die, okay, period, because until they're just going to be a threat for the rest of her life, these fucking assholes. As for the Thankful, okay, so that was the Kelly's 12. She had I Got You Kelly's 12. And as for Thankful, Kelly's 12, that she did, it was also good despite having, and let me show you which one it is. What is this? Is it this one? Yeah. So if you go to SiriusXM, she has the Kelly's Clarkson Connection. She has Kelly's 12. She has My Favorite Things, I Got You, Thankful. There's the Christmas one. Was it Just Because? Was that Maren Morris? But anyway, the Thankful one was out November 24th. I've since done. Anyway, I'm just showing you if you go over to SiriusXM, and this is I did all three of these. I reviewed them. I listened to all 12, and then reviewed them, and that's what I'm doing here. As for Thankful, Kelly's 12. It was also good despite having many new songs to me, but little did you realize probably that as a whole it was yet another indication that the imploding gay Nazi tobacco swamp a-holes running SiriusXM into the ground are now turning to the imploding gay Nazi religion swamp a-holes for help. Because almost every song had religious undertones or images. It made me check swamp stocks for the first time in weeks. I gave up on the swamp stuff too much because Trump is controlling all that, but I'm going to do a huge thing today on this because just give everybody an indication of what Trump is up to, and there are certain things that he can't control. Nobody can control. that I'll show you later. Like you can't. There's a certain amount of money that you can't. You can no longer sell a stock up to a certain point or buy a stock, whatever it is. Things are gonna have to come back to a certain point, you know. So I'll do all that later, and we'll see what's going on to help people out. So SiriusXM Image of the Ground are now turning to the religion swamp for help. Almost every other song, if you go through the 12, it made me check swamp stocks for the first time in weeks. And lo and behold, if religion swamp flagship stock T-Mobile is truly starting to implode. A year ago on December 6, 2024, after putting up with gay Nazi customer service a-holes, like you talk on the phone, you could tell who they are, you could tell they're gay, and then they're scamming nickels and dimes out of me after I had been with them for years. I strongly suggested this stock was on the verge of imploding, which it did the very next day, actually, and over the course of the next week, by 13%. Then, probably to prove me wrong, the stock recovered that loss and continued to climb in a massive short squeeze that used taxpayer money that was supposedly going to the made-up war in Gaza. But now T-Mobile US is truly going the way of Pfizer, i.e. complete implosion, down 20% since December 6th, since I made that. Yay, the religion swamp is the last swamp to implode. Hang in there, boo. Just trying to get you through the next year to December 2026, one day at a time, 1 year at a time. 2026 is especially going to be a wild ride, though. Godspeed to everybody getting out the other side in one piece and in one piece. All right, so this is what I'm talking about here. We're going to do, anybody, we're going to go through this a lot more later. T-Mobile, well, in a second, actually. T-Mobile is religion swamp stock. Let's see, religion swamp stock. Right around here, I put on Twitter, and my Twitter account is down, and I can't get to any of this stuff. But on December 6th, I said short T-Mobile. It's run by gay Nazi swamp. I later associated it with the religion swamp because it did start to take off right here after the October attacks. That was all to get taxpayer money to go into buying stock. The whole fake religious war, so it's a religion swamp stock. All of the T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon, all three of them are religion swamp stocks. They are monitoring your phones, they're doing all this shit. So right after I posted that, now I could be the one guiding that, like Trump is trying to prove to everybody that I'm like reliable or something, or so he made it go down or whatever. But the thing about my thing is, I don't know when. Like, it was funny to me at the time. I said, this is too much, that it went down within the very next day. For the next week, it went down 14% when I said sell it short, like it's going to go down. But then they got some extra money and there was a short squeeze. But in the long run, unless Trump is doing something, it will go down, and it has since then. It's down 18% since December 6, 2024, okay? So I think it is imploding, and you see me doing my stuff later. I'm going to go through all this stuff. You know, I do my little, so it's probably on this run, it starts to go all the way down to something like, I'm going to guess, unless Trump is doing something, T-Mobile, if it breaks to this line, it's going out of business, but it's going to go down something. Anyway, I'm going to do a lot more of this later. Like, let's just say even lower than this. It's going to, right now it's at 200. It's going to go down to 170. It's going to go down to, sorry guys, I don't care. Something like this. Where are you? Look at this shit. It is at 170. Nope, that's not it. We're going to do 170, 160 maybe? Yeah, it's going to be even possibly, is it really 150? 160. If it breaks below 160 coming up, it's going out of business. Just watch the support lines when we get closer. But T-Mobile has some downside to it. So when I draw support lines, we're going to go through this again. And everything that's a big thing like this is corruption and taxpayer money going to stock manipulations from Congress and going back into congressional pockets. That's all this is. oh, it's a war in Gaza, we need money. And then you pour they just go and get all the taxpayer money they want because there's no tax. We don't have taxation we have taxation without representation, which is until the 16th Amendment goes through, we're going to have this kind of shit going on. And Trump is, so this is all your taxpayer money. See all this big thing right here? This is all your taxpayer money, and it's going into the pockets of corrupt Congress people. That's going to happen a lot less going forward, but for now, and especially now, we're done. The religion swamp, this is religion swamp money, Gaza Strip money, we're done, they're out of money, and this is no longer going to be happening too much. If it happens, it's going to be a little bit and a little bit less, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that's T-Mobile, the religion swamp, and those are my predictions, and we're going to get rid of that. So if you go over to SiriusXM, the Kelly Clarkson Connection, the first person you see, Lainey Wilson. I wanted to say that as I'm into the music and like at Lowe's radio, I monitor, my work radio, and Walmart radio, I monitor the work radio for tobacco songs. And it's getting less and less, which is a sign that the gay Nazis are being purged. But you have, for instance, Walmart Radio, I believe, has played their last cigarette song, the song that says cigarette, and I pointed it out on December 29th. But anyway, you're going to go over to anything that has Lainey Wilson is what I'm calling subtle tobacco advertising. Like Walmart Radio is not playing cigarette songs anymore, but now they're playing a lot of Lainey Wilson, Lady Gaga. They're playing what I call tobacco artists, but not their cigarette lyrics. So it's subtle. So there's still some purging that still needs to be done. But when you go over to Sirius Radio and the first thing you see is Lainey Wilson, do you know that they're still being run by tobacco swamp people is all I'm saying. So that's what that was. That's why I'm saying this. And it was the same when, okay, so we're going to, okay, bye. Bye, Kelly Clarkson Connection. Okay, so there's still something to be talked about here, and it was what I just said. I wish you guys could see, like, I wish you can go to my thing and see, like, okay, so my shorts are what's covering a lot of the work radio stuff. It's just amazing, like the amount of views I get for a lot of this stuff too. It's just these 30-second things, and I'm getting thousands of views for some of this. One of them got over 3,000 views, the most views I've ever gotten. But if you look at this, I monitor every time a cigarette song plays on the radio at work, and that used to be only 2 songs. There used to be only one when I first started there. For months and months, it was just Satisfaction, and I would just record it, and that would play 3, 4, 5 times a week, whatever it was, all the time. And then the other one was something called One Headlight. Those are Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones, gay band, gay lead singer, gay everything. So that's tobacco swamp shit. And then One Headlight is also the gay band called the Wallflowers. It's gay run, gay. The lead singer is gay, just like gay, tobacco. It's always related, the tobacco swamp songs. And they only played those 2 forever. And they would play, and then it got less and less. And now, the last time, like, they're playing fewer and fewer, and that's a good sign. It means that they're purging. But what happened was, let me tell you about AI. Like you say, what I'll do is I'll go to Shazam, and I'll put it on auto, and we'll just let that run on the Walmart radio. And then I'll go back later, and you see all the songs that played. And then what you can do in AI land, supposedly, is just rig up a program that monitors all the songs that come out, and then go to AI and say, do any of these songs have cigarette lyrics, and then remove them, and then you no longer have the cigarette songs in the playlist. I believe that's what finally is happening at my Lowe's radio and at Walmart radio. But then you have to be careful, because AI, especially with the movies, it will like especially Grok. Like you'll say, Grok, does this song have a cigarette lyric in it? And he'll say no. You can manipulate AI, is what I'm saying for now, to give you false information on where the tobacco ads are and where the tobacco references are, especially in the movies, because Grok and AI can't view videos. And I'll tell you, there was something called SeenSmoking.org a long time ago, funded out of Sacramento for anti-tobacco stuff, and they just completely torpedoed, I don't know who the gay Nazi buttfuckers and the pedophiles completely torpedoed this. It was just teenagers volunteering their time to add to like crowdsourcing rules. It is the best. It was the best. Like you can go to their database, list a movie, and they don't say smoking, not smoking. They say the time marker, who smoked, what was, if it was a cigarette, a cigar, a man, a woman. They had all this data. And now they completely torpedoed that. Like you can't find this. They completely took down that website. They stopped the funding for it. And now if you go to Grok and say, does this movie have smoking in it? He'll say yes when it doesn't, and he'll say no when it does. Like you cannot get accurate information on the movies. And it used to be that way with the lyrics, but it's getting better. ChatGPT is better, and Google AI is better for the cigarette lyrics. Like I just went and said cigarette lyrics for that Warren Ziegler guy, whatever that is. And that was Google, and Google is better, and YouTube is good at this. But they're still not that accurate, and especially for the movies. So it's taking me forever to review all these movies for cigarette references because I have to spend 2 hours looking for it. And I had something like no reservations with Catherine Zeta-Jones and a new guy, and it was like on my top 11 list, and it was beautiful. But I went back and rewatched it, and there is a cigarette. There's like these cigarette references that I didn't catch the first time. It was like the teenage babysitter, whatever, comes in, and when she's gone, they have a close up of all the cigarette butts that Catherine Zeta-Jones like goes, oh gross, and she has all these cigarette butts in an ashtray that the girl had smoked. And you say, well, she wasn't smoking it. No, that's a cigarette. It's not an accident. It's not like we're filming in real life and this just happened that way. Every single little scene in a movie is storyboarded and gone over and whatever. That was purposely put in their cigarette ad. So no reservations. I'm so sorry. It's breaking my freaking heart. Is now disqualified from the entire rom-com list. And for other reasons, because there are pedophiles in there too. There's pedophile references. Abigail Breslin is in there, and that's just, I'm going to go over that later. She's just a pedophile central for her. And we're going to go through all that later. But I'm just saying that Satisfaction, if you look through my shorts, Satisfaction didn't play for a long time, and I think it's been 3 weeks since the last cigarette ad, and I'm taking it as a good sign. Even if we had Christmas music, even before that, it's just playing less and less. The cigarette ad, it's called One Headlight, I believe was 3 weeks ago. Hold on a minute. Walmart radio. Anyway, One Headlight, I believe the last cigarette ad, here it is. Now playing cigarette ad, One Headlight. And they played it all on the same day, too. One Headlight in downtown, December 17th. On my way downtown. This is what I'm saying. So once they can't play, like somebody finally put their foot down because they had the power and they're running out of money to counter it. But at Lowe's Radio, I believe this is what's going on. Somebody finally put their foot down and said no songs with cigarette lyrics in it. So the two that I've been reporting, Satisfaction, you don't hear from it anymore. One Headlight, you don't really hear from it anymore, except this one day they tried to get away with the cigarette ad On My Way Downtown by Dave Alvin. And I exposed the cigarette. It's like a obscure, you can't even find the lyrics for this thing. They're just trying to get a song that says the word cigarette to get into the kids, whatever it is. And I exposed it, and then right after, almost in a tissy fit, the freaking gay Nazi piece of shit over at who's doing the radio, whatever it is, then played One Headlight. I hadn't had it for a long time, even before that. It was like the time before that. So they play one headlight almost in, as having a fit over me exposing them trying to get away with playing a cigarette ad that wasn't picked up on AI. So now I haven't heard this one since then. It's almost like I'm training the AIs so then anyway, they're still doing subtle cigarette. Okay, so let's do Lowe's radio for now. Yesterday, it takes a little time. Okay, so on January 4th, yesterday, well, it's January 6th now, but I was listening to Walmart radio. I played My Life Would Suck Without You, and I listed this comment. It's a good sign that the most powerful of the butt-fucking pieces of pedophile-supported gay Nazi asshole tobacco swamp shit at Walmart radio have finally been purged, so that 2026 will be the first year Walmart radio song lyrics will be tobacco pedophile free. Yay, since still work to be done, like purging the lower level gay Nazi tobacco pedophiles still at Walmart radio who are promoting songs by tobacco artists like Lady Gaga and Lainey Wilson without playing their actual cigarette songs, since those are now being flagged and removed from the playlist. Or purging the gay Nazi tobacco pedophile who posted a picture of Matthew McConaughey on Walmart radio homepage looking like he's smoking a cigarette when he really isn't, so that nobody gets busted for it. But things are looking positive. Hang in there. So this is what I'm talking about. Like I've been listening to them on and off forever, and you have to listen because I'm not going to go through like miles and miles of songs that I'm collecting on my Shazam that are playing at Walmart radio. If I'm not listening to it, I have to go to AI and say, do any of these songs have cigarette lyrics? And you can't do that because AI isn't very confident. So I have to actually be there listening, like when I'm at work. I have to actually hear the word cigarette. So it takes a long time, and I'm not going to find it. But I haven't, since I started, I haven't heard. I've been listening every chance I get to Walmart radio, and I haven't heard a song with the cigarette lyric. So I think they're done with the cigarettes. But as they're still there, because look at this. If you go to the Walmart radio homepage, this is why. Remember when I said Matthew McConaughey? Remember when I said the whole shooting, the Tobacco Swamp supported shooting in Uvalde, where all those kids were shot, was to promote Matthew McConaughey. This guy's Tobacco Swamp creation. They're still trying to. So, and that was Walmart supported. It was Walmart doing that, and people at NBC, just Tobacco Swamp pedophiles behind this shooting, right? I have entire videos about this. And what is Matthew McConaughey doing at Walmart radio? Finding a rhythm? I didn't listen to this, but let's dim this. Let's see what this picture looks like. Just dim it a little bit. Tell me. Let's dim it. What does it look like? Can you guys see this? It's Matthew McConaughey. It looks like he's smoking a cigarette there. Blur your eyes a little bit. And it's just like, oh, no, that's an accident. Look at you being paranoid. It's like, no, find out the butt-fucking piece of pedophile swamp shit behind posting that picture, and you do more than probably anybody did in their life as far as getting to world peace and ending pedophilia. Find them, purge them, fire these pieces of shit. Fire the white woman who okayed this. Fire all the gays, whatever it is. Just start purging them. I'm letting you know. It's going to be rough because on their way out, they might kill you. Like this lady at my work. She comes in, and the first day, they killed our poor coworker guy. But I'm just telling you, this is what's going on. And they're playing a lot of Lady Gaga, a lot of Lainey Wilson, a lot of Casey Musgraves, who else? Post Malone, all these tobacco artists, that's what they're playing, but they're not playing a cigarette song. So who are we protecting? We're protecting these guys too, by the way. There's the Bo Show, Kirby Gwen, Chris Bobbitt. These are my Walmart radio muses. And if there's going to be another mass shooting, right now there aren't going to be mass shootings. There's going to be smaller shootings. And one that will be coming up, and I've been trying to protect against for years now, is somebody walking into the Walmart radio headquarters and shooting up these people, or one of these people, or somewhere around there down in Arkansas. Okay, watch out for that this year especially, and especially since, it's just like the other murder. Okay, they're purging a lot. There's a lot of shit going on right now at Walmart Radio. Their playlist was shit for the longest time because there's just like they'll do this is exactly what's going on. It's fantastic news, you guys, by the way, and it's something I predicted a long time ago. I thought Walmart Radio, even though Walmart fired me and all this stuff, I said they were a much better company than Target because Target. I worked at both places, and it's just, I could just tell. Like, let me just tell you, dear Walmart, if you guys want, just from my experience there, where the corruption is going to be, all the gay men worked in the returns department. So if there's corruption going on in the returns, like they're stealing that way. The people will return, they just have return scams going on. So for Target, there's a lot of bigger scams going on at Target in that the whole thing was attracting teenagers to come into the store to listen to tobacco songs, and that came out of Minnesota. Minnesota is very tobacco, pedophile, all this shit. We're gonna go through that, but just the fact that they're headquartered in Minnesota, Target, I predicted Walmart would do well and Target would tank when they both had the same thing. And right now, it's going on right now with Lowe's and Home Depot. Now, I never worked at Home Depot, so I'm not sure. But if everybody's trying to figure out who's going to fare better going forward, even though they're the same, I'm going to say Home Depot will probably fare better than Lowe's, even though everybody's actively working to purge. But it's just only because when I worked at Target, the store director was gay. And when I worked at Walmart, the store director was not gay, and I had to be fired from above them. Like the workers who were directly above me were all excellent. At Target, the Hispanic woman right above me was excellent, and that's good. But when the store director and all the shit that comes down from that is so gay, I don't know how to describe this except the way the store was run was very gay. Meaning it didn't have, I just don't know how to I do know how to describe it, I just don't want to be fired right now. So let me tell you at Lowe's, in the trucking industry, anybody running trucking, the gays are going to be scamming you on tires and gas. That's my experience. Those are the two most expensive things, but you're going to be scammed. And also everybody running every safety department at, also all the gays are running, all the legal departments are all gays running shit. That's all gay shit going on in every big company. The legal department is full of butt fuckers who are running the company into the ground and stealing shit. For a trucking company, as I said, look for the safety department because they could hire and fire anybody they want. So they'll hire smokers, for instance, and then pay them to do their bidding. And just don't hire smokers because the tobacco swamp is running out of money. So they'll pay people to do their bidding in cigarettes. And that's why they try to make smokers, try to get teens smoking and everything like that, is not only to bring in money, and to have accesses. We're going to go through this later. Okay, so I just want to cover this now. Just watch out for these guys. And my advice to Lowe's. So the safety department and the legal department, a lot of times are run by gays, especially in the trucking, because they can hire and fire whoever they want. On any, like, you could break 10,000 rules. As I was at you could break 10,000 rules. As soon as I exposed these guys for stealing tires and stealing fuel, I was fired over a stupid little safety thing or whatever. They'll just make the excuse. Anybody can be fired at any time over safety anywhere. So that's why they run the safety department. And then because the gays would get away with whatever the fuck, they would get away with all sorts of shit. And the safety department would look the other way, and then as soon as you fart to the left instead of to the right, they're firing you over here. And the same thing was at Target. Okay, that's why I got that feeling. And then Walmart, I never got that feeling, so they had to swoop in from above my store director to fire me. You'll see the whole thing. It came from somewhere headquarters fired you because the immediate manager, the manager, it's just Walmart just knows how to run shit. I don't know how else to say this. They just know how to run shit, put shit on shelves is like the number one thing. And, Target was like, God. I don't know Home Depot. I'm saying if you had to, don't invest in any of this shit. Just put your money in the Dow. Lowe's, let me tell you something, Lowe's. Just from what was there, if there's going to be scams, it's going to be in, like, if there's scams happening at Lowe's, like, all the corruption is just everywhere. And, all these companies, who's going to survive? If Lowe's starts to go down and Home Depot does better, it's because, once again, it's just so many closeted gay people is what I'm saying there. Not only was the guy running the company, but there's just a lot of way more closeted gay people at Lowe's and at Target than at Walmart. And where they're concentrated and the ones who causing trouble for you. When I immediately came in, there was, of course, this Jewish woman who was trying to get me fired along with the head of the thing. I mean, it's just okay. Lowe's is an official sponsor of the NFL. NFL is very tobacco pedophile related, but they're also trying to clean out. So there's a commercial on Lowe's that says, this is the literal ad, Sundays hit different if you take care of stuff on Saturday. They're trying to placate, like Lowe's is the official sponsor for the NFL, and there's a criticism of the NFL that it's domestic violence happens most on Sundays because of the NFL and the football games. So Lowe's tried to come out and say, okay, well, we can make money off of this and placate the domestic violence people by saying, come to Lowe's on Saturday, do your stuff, and then you won't hit the women on Sunday. Sundays hit different. That's literally. So their heart is in the right place, but it's gay. They're still being run by gay men. There isn't a woman, like, think about it. Lowe's Sunday hits different. This comes on the radio 5 times a day when I'm at work. Sundays hit different if you earn your Sunday. Earn your Sunday is their biggest and it's their answer to domestic violence on Sunday. So let me tell you what is the biggest cause of domestic violence on Sunday and how to stop it. It's not the actual football. It's all the gambling losses. It's financial shit. So the NFL is now, the pedophiles and everything are making their money off of the gambling and the rigged games. It's a big deal. And that's all being exposed and they're imploding and everything like that. So where they get their money is, all these guys start to gamble, it's rigged, you're not going to win. They'll draw you in to the gambling on the football and they'll let you win this and win that and think you're smart, but then they'll jab you right when it's just like doing the stock market when that's rigged as well. You can't win against the house, and they're not going to make you lose at first. They're going to wait until it's a huge amount, and then you lose that, and then you beat the shit out of your family, because that's the number one reason where domestic violence comes from. Not just from black women spanking their boys, but that's the biggest cause of domestic violence in the United States is black women spanking their black boys. It's just all slave shit. But the second biggest thing is financial shit on losing money from gambling on Sundays from football. So if you want to stop domestic violence there, you stop gambling. You make it illegal to gamble on Sundays, or I don't like the term make it illegal, but you just, make that illegal, because you're not allowed to offer booking and gambling shit on entertainment only. Like wrestling is not allowed. There's no gambling allowed in wrestling because it's scripted. And the NFL is scripted, so there shouldn't be gambling allowed. And if you do that, domestic violence will cut more than half. So there's all these big problems, domestic violence on Sundays, pedophilia, there's a lot of shit that is very solvable. But it's hard to do that when you can't get at the facts of things, and when you have fucking, pedophile gay Nazis with their aggression and with their sex drive on all this stuff. So, this stuff's all going to come to fruition. The world's just going to get better and better as we realize all these things. But, dear Lowe's, when you have a thing that says, come buy some stuff, I mean, that's a good idea. If you think about it, it's like you're convincing people, if you just come in, do your home, replace the filter, that's part of the commercial. I get that. It's just gay motivated, and it's on the wrong basis of things. Yes, I think it's a good thing. Come in, work on Saturday. Maybe you'll feel better on Sunday, but that's not going to stop you from beating your wife if you're gambling. Okay? So it's a fake kind of commercial. There are Lowe's. All right, and the second thing is, my view would be, and not in my own store, I'm just saying, because Lowe's is, this is the other thing, is if you're incapable of judging who's a good worker because they have a weird, and Target, if your manager has to know, and your manager, so anyway, I'm just going to say this. If you're looking for fraud at Lowe's, look toward payroll fraud, meaning you're putting people on payroll who aren't even showing up to work. Like you have all these ghost workers who aren't at work, so, and are getting paid, and then they're getting also paid like overtime. Am I still recording? So there's like these huge salaries and things going toward women, there's overtime pay and all these things going to people who aren't even at work. So there's payroll fraud, and I think that's a big fraud. That's all the gay men running this. And you say, well, how can you? It's just very hard to usurp that. So good luck to the good people at Lowe's going after this. It's going to eventually all be exposed, but look to that, and look to the fake. You have this thing where you have to get surveys from people so that you can be promoted, and I've already mentioned this actually to HR. So I've already given some things, but I haven't said to HR the thing about the payroll thing. Like when the store director is standing there, I work part-time and I'm only minimum wage, and I'm a very good worker. So if I have to go 15 minutes over because I'm trying to finish a project, one thing I can't stand is you're putting something on the shelf, you have a cart, and you have 15 more, like you're working for an hour and you're almost done with this cart, and 15 more minutes and you could finish it. But people stop right at 10 o'clock, and then you have to bring this shit to the back and do this and that. Finish the freaking cart, period. It's just like, it's almost OCD or something. It's not. It just feels like you finish it, and then you feel more. And I do that all the time. If I'm working on something, I want to finish it, and I don't care going 15 minutes over. We can't go under. I can't leave at 9:45 when I can't do that. That would be marked against me. But we can go over, and it's not a big deal. I'm making $15 an hour. So going over would be making, by $4 or something for 15 minutes of my good work. And our other director used to stand by the little place where we check out, the little time card place, and say, oh, you're going 15 minutes. Like they would monitor a part-time good worker who's working hard for $4 or something. It's definitely, gave me the idea at Lowe's. Well, he's gone now. And now I'll always go over a little bit, and I need that extra little, like that when it adds up to an extra $50 at the end of the 2-week period, because I'm staying 15 minutes here sometimes. And on the days when we don't have work, I leave early, but if we have too much work. So those little things, but when you have the store director getting on me because I went over by 15 minutes, it gave me the idea, and he's gay too, is that the gay store director standing by the thing just to get at me because I went 15 minutes over. I mean, a part-time worker, meaning I'm not even getting overtime pay for that, pay and a half. I'm getting paid $15 an hour, and he's there, and he used to do that a couple of times. Well, you shouldn't go over, or please don't go over by, So that is telling me right there that they're doing payroll fraud where they're like the hours were, I couldn't use the extra 15 hours. We don't have the hours. Like what? Nobody at Walmart ever freaking told me that, because they know who the good workers are, because they put the right manager. Walmart just knows how to run shit. And I knew that way back when. And they know how to do shit. They know how to put product out on the floor cheaply. They know how to get people in. They just know how to run shit. And these other places kind of don't. And the reason they don't is because it's fraudulent. It's purposely inefficient so that the fraud is covered over. So I'm going to say that, and I'm also going to say on there's fraud in accounting for shit. Like internal fraud. They'll figure it out eventually. But the good sign is this. The good sign is I poked the bear. What day was it? I'm sorry, guys. I poked the bear. What am I doing up here, by the way? So, okay, never mind this. Let me do this. So here I poked the bear. I poked both. I mean, it's funny that I poked the Walmart bear. This was poking the bear when I call him butt fucking supported whatever. And I expected Walmart to play a cigarette ad after this, and I haven't seen it yet. But guess who did play a cigarette ad right after this? It kind of surprised me. That just yesterday, just today or whatever, the last work, I come off and here's a cigarette ad, one headlight. They played it just today, and I put it up on my YouTube short, and that's at Lowe's. Like, what the hell? So there's still some tobacco shit going on here. So there's low level. I mean, so dear good people, go after whoever. Why is a cigarette ad one headlight being played in response to my post here to Walmart about the butt fuckers being cleared out, the pedophile tobacco? So monitor this shit closely, and good luck to you. And it's very positive that there hasn't been this ad, but it just came up just like before. Remember? When I busted them on another cigarette ad, they played one headlight right away. So get on that shit, and you guys are onto it. I don't even have to tell you. So I love Lowe's. I think they're going to be okay. I'm just saying they have more clearing to do than possibly Home Depot for several reasons, because I heard a long time ago that Lowe's gets more of its stuff from China than Home Depot does. So that alone, there's a problem there. But it also might be, there's also from my experiences going into Home Depot, and also just the ads. Like, as I said, like Home Depot had this great Christmas ad. It felt family oriented, and then Lowe's is like, no, earn your Sundays, and Sundays hit different. Their NFL stuff. NFL is very tobacco swampy. Everybody's gonna get out of it in life. That's my advice. That's the best I could do for you right now at my own work without getting fired myself. One good thing is I feel like I'm okay, but because it's, first of all, it's I'm never all right. I just don't want to be fired, but I also am not going to shut up on some of this. I just don't, just time. You guys are fine. I love Lowe's, and I love my job right now. It's fantastic. And so, all right, let's go on. We're going to go for 3 hours on this probably. So we're on December 15th now. What are we doing? December 16th? So December 18th. Here we are. December 18th, 2025. Is this... All right. So December 18th, 2025. President Trump issued an executive order directing the Attorney General to take all necessary steps to expeditiously move marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 under the Controlled Substances Act. So it's just like this. What the fuck? Why is it so hard to get these fucking work radio places to just not play one headlight and not play these obscure cigarette things? What is so hard? Well, it's not that hard. It's just an indication of how strongly the focus is of these powerful pedophiles to keep this shit going. So what is so hard to put marijuana on a Schedule 1 to Schedule 3? I mean, Obama promised it in 30 years ago. He ran on that, and he wasn't able to. Instead, he's handing over this entire pedophile circle tobacco masturbator supporter, whatever that was. That was all Obama, Marlboro Obama. And Trump has been trying forever. So we'll tell you what. It's so easy to find out who it is too. Say who is in favor of this, and then you'll find out everybody in Congress and everybody in the Senate who says no to this is a pedophile. Is a pedophile. That's all there is to it. It's so easy. So this was no fanfare. This was the most important thing that Trump did in all of 2025 right here. And nobody said much about it. It just sort of passed by, and I saw that. And it was just like on June 18th, June 28th, whatever it was, in 2024, when the Supreme Court torpedoed, finally, something called the Chevron Doctrine. And it was it's a way to finally take the air out of something called administrative agencies. That's gonna be an ongoing battle. But when that was announced, and it was just in passing, it was just like, oh my God, like people don't understand the significant, like that's a huge shift. That was a huge win on the road to inevitable world peace, like this right here. When I said that, after all that shit, I said, wow. So thank you. This all happened because of the implosion going on, and and Trump saw it coming. He airlifted Reiner and his wife out of LA because they're imploding, the tobacco swamp, the pedophiles, everything's imploding there. And as a result of their weakness, Trump was able to do this executive order to get this on fast track. So this shit is going down, people. This is huge. But you're going to get a lot of backlash. You're going to get a lot of shit going on. But this right here, December 18th. So what happened on December 19th? I monitored the stocks. The Dow went up pretty well, but when I came over here, it was everybody. Anyway, in my brain, what I did was, why am I up here again? I don't get this. In my brain, the day after Trump issued that on December 18th, this is the stock market on December 19th. This is the Dow. All the stocks that took a big hit. Look at this, minus 10%. Nike were not only tobacco, they were tobacco, especially pedophile stocks. Nike is a pedophile stock, people. Nike is a pedophile stock in the pedophile swamp. Now look at Home Depot. Home Depot and Lowe's took big hits that day too. Pedophile tobacco. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying that these are just making you aware. And it has to do with not anything except the NFL stuff, I think. Nike associated with the NFL, the Home Depot. I'm not sure why Sherman-Williams, but the other one was Verizon. So the tobacco swamp, Siri, Comcast, and Disney. Comcast, Disney, Siri. I have a list, and they are now, in my brain, the pedophile stocks. They're still, like we're focusing on now, Comcast, Disney, but especially Nike, and they're not bad. They're just undergoing the biggest changes right now, and that has to do with Caitlin Clark representing Trump, representing non-pedophile stuff, and everybody attacking her. But she finally got her Nike ad out, which is good. So we're gonna hope that they finally reach the bottom, but I don't know. But they took a huge hit. Whoever took a huge hit after the tobacco announcement is pedophile shit in my brain. So anyway, that's that. That's what happened on December 18th. We're almost up to Christmas now. Oh my God, you guys. So what do we have? All right, so another thing that happened. So we're gonna start looking at swamp stocks, but I want to go over what's happening in Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz, he's gay, and what the hell is this? Sorry, guys. Before we get into the swamp stocks, I want to go over some stuff here. Oh, my channel content. So, what takes me so long, sometimes I make these big, long videos, but I'm just very proud when I go back and look at some of these videos. I don't go through them all, but my old videos are the best for what's going on in Minnesota. Maybe that's why I'm up here. I wish you guys can see this, like my short list to see every time I've announced a tobacco song at work. Okay, so Um, 30. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just. So if you look at my video list, I can't get them all in one. Kicking my own ass. Sorry, guys. Let's do this. July 2025. July 17th. July 7th. All right. So January 16th, a week before I was arrested in 2023, YouTube, at the behest of tobacco and family court swamp pedophiles, and we're going to go over this a little bit later, removed my YouTube page entirely because it was showing up all my defense stuff. I mean, when I went to jail, they didn't want this up because it would have shown how innocent I was with that shit, and we're going to go through this later. But then YouTube, they put it back up, and the first thing, I love this video, greatest fan of my life. I'm glad it got a lot of views like that because it's just a great, I like that. The first video I put up was that one. That's good. But the second one, there's a lot of this tobacco swamp. A lot of the stuff that's going on in Minnesota is with, and it's buried. It's this one. Why J.D. Palmetier? This one. This one has, all right. So, if you, all right. Right in the middle. There we go. So buried in this, like I don't announce it as buried, but here it is. It's like a video I made 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it was, 2 years ago, and it shows Walmart connection with mass shooting, the tobacco, everything. When I was fired, it's all very interesting. But I mentioned the whole thing in Minnesota. I mentioned all the tobacco swamp shit. It's all here. The shootings and Minnesota's imploding. And I don't know if I said this before, but when I was truck driving in Minnesota, I spent a summer back there in Wisconsin for when I was trucking for Stryker Kenco, whatever that was. I spent like a few months there, and so I was able to do some trucking in that whole area in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And I noticed in Wisconsin, I was also doing okay, how am I going to do this? Okay, this. J.D. Palmetier. Anyway, I recommend that video because it's going to explain a lot about what's going on in Minnesota. This one, Dave Chappelle. Oh my God, I have such good videos, but that one right there is the most important. For that, and also, so I'm recommending that one. And for the Candace Owens stuff, like there's a lot of stuff with Candace Owen and Charlie Kirk. The best one for that is one called I have exam. Charlie Kirk Proved Me Wrong competition. That's going to explain everything that happened in the Charlie Kirk shooting. So there's two big things in the news this week. It's like Candace Owens this and Tim Waltz that. Those two videos kind of like explain everything you need to know on those two things. And I haven't changed anything. They're pretty good on that shit. And it's just all that stuff coming to fruition. But let's just talk about Tim Waltz. Okay. Oh, and then another thing that happened this weekend is the Venezuela oil stuff. So Venezuela oil stuff, I'm just trying to do current events here, and we're going to go through swamp stock stuff. But what's going on with swamp stuff in Minnesota, when I was truck driving there are, and the 9/11, I could say there's at least 3 major swamps involved in things like 9/11. We've got the religion swamp because they're blaming it on Muslims, and you've got the defense contractor swamp because it's oil, airplanes, that kind of thing, and that's the defense contractor swamp. And then you have the tobacco swamp in that not so much for 9/11, but in Minnesota, it's the tobacco swamp because every corner gas station, gas is oil, that's the defense contractor swamp, was run by a Muslim or a Somali person, and they did illegal cigarette advertisements. So Walmart does that, and Dollar General and Walgreens, and I was criticizing these people a long time ago, and also Chevron in California did this thing together with Safeway where they had little cartoons and they were advertising cigarettes illegally. Every corner gas station and mart advertises cigarettes illegally, and also, in my view, most likely gets their so the thing about this running out of money, if the tobacco swamp is running out of money, they can pay people instead of with money, they could pay them with cigarettes. And they've been doing this. That's why the tobacco swamp is the hardest to kill, because they run out of money. Fine, we're going to pay people in cigarettes. So before this happened, I looked up and I said, do Somalis are Muslims, and Muslims aren't supposed to smoke, but do they smoke more than most people? And you look at it, and they're men. Somali men smoke 5 times more than any other Muslim men or any other men or whatever it is. Why is that? Because they're being paid in cigarettes, okay, in Minnesota. So the tobacco swamp is imploding, and they also run the corner gas stations. So there's a lot of frauds going on right now. We're talking about food stamp fraud. And I remember going through all the Dollar Generals back then. Like, you can go back at my Twitter accounts and they're all gone now, but I'm going through and I would say, and I said, Dollar General is selling cigarettes, taking food stamp money to sell cigarettes. And that's illegal. You're not supposed to be able to buy cigarettes. But there's a lot of fraud going on in the food stamp thing, and it has to do with the tobacco company getting cash from the federal government from food stamps while giving out cigarettes. That's how they sell their cigarettes to the government, pretty much. And in the process of this, they're also able to pay an army of people. And the other thing is the Somalis, they come in. This is why the whole immigration thing is a problem too, because and for Hispanics and everybody, they bring these people in and then they hold the citizenship above their head to do their bidding for them. You come here and you illegally do this shit. You're going to run this corner gas station, which is both the defense contractor swamp and the religion swamp because it's Muslims, but it's also the tobacco swamp, all in one thing. The corner gas station is 3 swamps, and in Minnesota it's all 3 swamps at every corner gas station. It's the religion swamp because it's Muslims coming in. And also Keith Ellison is also, and Keith Ellison is gay and Muslim, and Target is there, and tobacco, and it's just Muslim. I used to call it Minnesota funny business too, by the way. When you look at 9/11, all the supposed pilots were Muslim from Minnesota. Remember all that shit going on there? And then they had I call it Minnesota funny business, but Minnesota is like, so when they come in and they say, we're going to deport all the Somalis from Minnesota because they are the problem, they're not the problem. They've just been threatened to be deported since the beginning of time. They're imported to work for the tobacco pedophile swamps. Okay, that they're imported to do that, and if they don't do the bidding, they're threatened to leave them. So what we're after, and also there's a lot of shit going on, like the daycare center. You think it's fake daycare centers? No, that's pedophile shit going on there. And it involves Tobacco Swamp, and it involves SNAP benefits. It's just a lot of, I haven't really put my finger on it, but you know that when it's not the Somalis that are the bad people here. I mean, they're being paid in cigarettes, they're doing all this shit, and they're Muslim, but it's gay white Nazis running all this shit. And it's Tim Waltz. And you know when he's going to visit China, it's the only thing going on there is there's also some kind of fucking pedophilia, tobacco swamp, whatever shit going on with China. They're bringing in, you have the slave labor going on there, and they're probably paying pedophiles in little Chinese girls. He's doing that shit. All that shit's blowing up like crazy in his face. And this was he came that close to being our vice president. Same with Tim Kaine, gay Nazi who used to be the vice president and running with Hillary. Remember that? Tim Kaine, that fucking gay Nazi buttfucker. Yeah, they're just... So when you look at the Tim Waltz thing and his boyfriend Dennis Hamhoff, they're just imploding. And I'm just saying, I don't think we should be blaming the Somalis as much as it's not Somalis as much as the people bringing them in and the people. You just need to just don't hire people who smoke. Watch out for smokers. Watch out for the gay people, and we'll eventually. But that's what's going on in Minnesota. It was already kind of a hotbed for all these swamps. So here's another thing that happened over the weekend. There's some oil shit going on. All right. That's Minnesota Governor Kamala Harris, of course, is in like, oh, Tim Waltz is fantastic. Yeah, right. Meanwhile, her husband is boinking him. Let's just... I know there's a better way to say this and I didn't plan for this. I know I haven't been paying any attention because it's going to implode eventually, and it's just Trump is taking care of this shit. I'm not going to jump in and try to do anything. I'm just telling you that, of course, Minnesota, and what you're not looking for when they say they're getting money for daycare fraud, for running daycares. It's not necessarily that there are no kids there. There are probably a lot of, they're trying to get to baby penises pretty much. But that's going to be involved. Pedophiles are behind this. And, Tobacco Swamp is behind this and imploding. And, of course, Target is there. Tobacco Swamp, Target. And I mention all this. It's all kind of related. And it's related to stuff that started when I was doing the damn video on December 7th about the swamps imploding. They're just imploding, and they're imploding in different ways, and they're going to implode in Minnesota. And Minnesota might be the first out. If they're the first to implode, they might be the first to be clean out of everything. So let's see how that goes. But I feel bad for the girl for that woman that Trump had lined up to be the next senator of Minnesota. And they fucking, Tim Waltz and his fucking piece of shit buttfuckers killed her. And that's too bad. She was a good one, everybody. Democrat too. I mean, people are thinking, oh, it's Republican, MAGA, whatever. But right now, Trump's going after the MAGA with the. So let's just go over the swamp stuff. I forget. There was something else I was supposed to say for Minnesota, and I don't know. I forget. There's a lot of stuff I'm supposed to be saying. Oh, here we go. Okay, so. I have little indicators. What the hell is going on with the rose? When they said the rose bowl was rained out, I said, oh, okay. Well, that's the defense contractor swamp implode. Like they're imploding, so they didn't have enough money to pay for. I had a whole thing on this on Twitter a long time ago. I don't want to go over all this, but yes, you can control the local weather, and it's just my life is like Forrest Gump going through these various things. Like when I was a kid, we used to go to the Rose Parade, and it rained the night, not the day of, but every year we went to the Rose Parade, and every year everybody would always comment, it's always sunny on the first. It's always sunny on the first. This time, just before it rained it's usually not rainy the night before either, but this time it rained and we all came home instead of waiting, no, we didn't come home. We came home with a lot of wet bags. It rained on us. When you spend the night on the street in the sleeping bags, it's so much fun, and I remember all that, but we came home to our place, and my brothers and sisters were older and all their friends, and it was 20 kids, 20 teen. They were not kids. They were grown up. They were 16, 17, whatever it was, grown up, but all this wet stuff in the living room. I remember that. But it never rained except that one time, and not on the first, though. It did not rain on the first. It rained the night before, but by midnight, there was no rain. So if you look at the data on it, the last time it rained on the Rose Parade, and it's the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, NASA, in Pasadena, they know how to control the local weather since 1955. 1955, look it up. And so they made a contract with these people for the next 50 years. The Rose Parade people, we will make sure that there is no rain on January 1st for the Rose Parade and the Rose Bowl, because it rained in 1955, and or they possibly caused it to rain. It was like a really bad rain, and the gay Nazis did this. They were able to control the weather even in 1955, and then they did a 50-year contract. And then the next time it rained on January 1st was 2006. 50 years after 1955. It rained because they did another contract, and it possibly wouldn't have rained. It possibly could have rained every 5th year or something, but they made it rain on the first day that the contract was up, the first New Year's that the contract was up. You could also make it rain. This is local weather, it's weather manipulations, and this is the defense contractor swamp. This is the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. The reason why you need to be able to control the local weather is to send rockets in the air on a clear day. So they do this, and this is why in 1955 the local weather manipulations were very important. But now it's got a business aspect to it, and unfortunately gay Nazis run everything, so it's swamp related. So in 2006 they did a 20-year contract, and that was up this year. So the 20-year contract, it lasted till now, and it rained, except now the new contract, Trump, you need to go in there and make sure it's not with the gay Nazi, it's not with Nike, NFL, buttfucker pedophiles. Okay, you need to make it with legitimate business people for the Rose Parade, the Rose Bowl, the NFL, football related, Nike, whatever that is. I'm sure he's doing that, but there's nothing wrong with being able to control the weather if it's for the good, if it's for the bad. So when I heard that, I said, oh, the defense, what's going on with the defense contractor swamp? What's going on with the defense contractor? Oh, here it is. Okay, when was the last time it rained on the Rose Parade? January 1st, 2026, and before that it was exactly 20 years on January 1st, 2006. I'm sorry, 2006. And then so yeah, this is just something I know from growing up and going to the Rose Parade. It's just that it never rains on that day, and it's not accident. This is not a fucking accident. Stick it up your fucking, just don't argue with me on this, people. I don't know why. I'm not talking to you. I'm trying to talk to my Wordle muses, because these other people drive me crazy. When you start talking about stuff like this, is so freaking obvious that it's local weather manipulations. But then you say, when was the last time it rained on the Rose Parade before January 1st, 2026? And it was January 1st, 1955, 50 years earlier. So these contracts rained during the history. It only rained during the event of. So before that, it only rained every once in a while. Like in 1937, they knew how to do weather manipulation starting probably 1950, and they were trying to sell this to people to buy it, and they wouldn't. So they made it rain like crazy in 1955, and then they got their 50-year contract. You see how the gay Nazi buttfuckers work? This is how they do it. It's like you have to buy these measles vaccines, you have to buy these vaccines for the kids, which will make them sterile because they're actually not the vaccines. The vaccine whole thing is a scam. You have to, all of it now. I'm not even for any of it at this point. It's gotten so bad. It's almost like if you can't get this one thing right, I'm not trusting any of it. But it's all kind of gender transitioning drugs being tested on kids. So it happens to make some of them sterile or not, they don't care, but that's what that shit is. And so you get Robert Kennedy Jr. saying we're not going to mandate measles vaccines. So they take whatever they have in the lab. There are measles in the lab somewhere, and they put it out everywhere, and they try to get like a measles things going. Viruses don't spread after a while. You can't get, there's no such thing as a pandemic. The pandemic in the Spanish flu in 1919 was right ahead of the 1920 census, and this is just like this one. The 2019 COVID was right ahead of the 2020 census. Right, it's a population thing. It's not even a death thing. They had to readjust numbers, and it has to do with the 16th Amendment in 1913, the very next census, and now the 16th Amendment is coming down. It's just the opposite. It's almost bookends. I already published all that too, you guys, but it's just buttfucker activity. I'm just pointing out buttfucker activity. And now it's not even buttfucker activity, it's pedophile buttfucker activity. Okay? And I'm just trying to point it out so that we can form a posse and be more aware and help Trump out. But this right here, buttfucker activity, that it poured on 1955 is not a coincidence. They made it rain, and then they did it again. Like the year after, it probably wouldn't have rained on a January 1st for 3. You saw before that it rained once every 10 years or whatever, just randomly once every 5 years. But they made it rain on January 26th. They made it rain this time because they're trying to get a contract. Don't sign that contract. Trump, you know this. Do not sign that contract or get, whatever it is. Unless you finally, actually, I think he might have finally gotten control of the damn hurricane maker. Wasn't the last one, did we get through this hurricane season without a major hurricane? Because you can control the weather, and Trump finally got control over the, what was Milman? What was the last one? We didn't have any big hurricanes this season because you can prevent hurricanes. And these guys have been making them, starting with like Katrina. You can make and guide hurricanes. So, let's get the toys away from the fucking buttfuckers, okay? Because they will purposely give your kid measles. That's what I told Whitney Cummings. You guys don't brag about not giving your kids any vaccines because I'm talking about the celebrities, because they will be targeted for getting like a targeted measles or a targeted something. Okay, this is just buttfucker activity. I don't know what else to tell you. So this is buttfucker activity. Trump, I hope you're on top of this. But it did force me to start. So we're gonna go into the swamp stock. We're gonna do swamp stock, not media swamp stock. We're gonna do all the swamps. So a long time ago, or if you look through my media swamp stock tutorials, I have flagship stocks that I look at. So the flagship stock, for instance, for the tobacco swamp was always Altria, MO. The flagship stock for the pharmaceutical swamp was Pfizer, PFE. The flagship stock for the defense contractor swamp was always kind of difficult because it was Boeing for a while, and then I thought it would be the oil companies like Chevron, and it is, but more recently I'm thinking the most recent would be the airline stock index is what I finally, because I think it covered both the global warming half of the defense contractor swamp and the oil weather manipulation Republican half of the defense contractor swamp. The ones who create the wind that does the fire stuff too, and this kind of stuff. So global warming does that, and the war part, Ukraine war, all that stuff. Okay, so airline index is one of the things. And then most recently, the religion swamp has now been represented by a couple of things, and it's mostly T-Mobile. The telecom stocks, which is T-Mobile, mostly T-Mobile, is more swampy than both AT&T and Verizon. But those three, and then also the the cereals and like Pepsi, it was Kellanova, which just went out of business finally because they're swamp and they were imploded. But Kellanova, PepsiCo, and General Mills kind of, but Post is the least swampy, and they're doing fine. But the General Mills and Pepsi, those are their religion swamp stocks. So we're going to start looking at all these stocks. And before I do that, I wanted to do, I think the last stocks I did, there's Target, General Mills, sorry about this, Pepsi. Let me get rid of this. So before I said something like, I used to monitor the difference between Dollar Tree and Dollar General because Dollar Tree does not sell cigarettes and Dollar General does. And I always thought that Dollar General would implode more than Dollar Tree because they were they were tobacco swamp supported and also probably doing scams involving Snap. I used to go through and say, oh, the ones that have the Marlboro sign in front sideways means they accepted Snap cards for selling cigarettes. And the one I did this whole thing where I thought that might have been a pattern, but I definitely was onto that scam years ago. When I was trucking through, I would always go through and see which ones, the Marlboro signs in front of the Dollar General and inside the Dollar General. Oh, by the way, Walgreens, I used to do this with Walgreens. I said this is both pharmaceutical swamp because it's Walgreens, it's a pharmacy, and they also illegally advertised Marlboros. The biggest signs of all were in Walgreens. And I predicted they would go out of business a long time ago. And if you did, that you could see they're now gone. You can't even list them. WBA, they used to be on the Dow, and now they're out of business. And it's because they were both tobacco swamp and pharmaceutical swamp. And when both those swamps imploded, that Walgreens imploded faster than anything else. So you could predict stuff from my swamp if you look at things through swamp colored glasses. Okay, so that was predicted. Same with so I thought Dollar General. I was all over these guys, and I also figured that who was it? CR England would always bring. I think CR England. I said from Salt Lake City. This is also in my. I've already also covered this when I was a truck driver for Salt Lake City. Of course I was, because I'm like the Forrest Gump of swamp, and I don't know. It's just, but I CR England is based there. I work for Pride, which was the daughter company at first. They spun off from CR England because these guys fought, and it's just a very big trucking place, but it was also a very big hotbed for tobacco transportation. And we're talking about Mitt Romney heading this and this whole area. And I thought that CR England was delivering illegal tobacco products to Walmart stores or something. They were into this fraud. And the same with the Dollar General, just kind of it's either a Snap fraud or tobacco fraud or some shit going on with CR England, Walmart. But anyway, Dollar Tree, let's look at what's going on. So Dollar Tree should survive more than Dollar General. And if you look at Dollar Tree, they look like they were doing really well. Why are we up here again? So let's look at Dollar Tree. And you say, oh no. I just looked at the stocks recently and I'm thinking, they were looking pretty good here, and then all of a sudden they broke through this line and it's looking bad down here, but not for very long. They recovered. So I don't, this was a breach, and a lot of times you would think, wow, if it breaches by that's an indication that it's going out of business. But look how quickly this rebounded. I think Dollar Tree is just strong, and I believe it was probably oversold here to help Dollar General stock. Like a lot of people who own Dollar Tree stock own Dollar General stock, and as Dollar General is doing really badly, they sold, the bad people sold their Dollar Tree stock to keep the Dollar General stock alive, and that's what this was. Totally oversold, and it just bounced right back. If you're trying to decide whether to buy Dollar Tree or Dollar General, buy Dollar Tree. and not Dollar General. It's like the difference between Walmart and Target. When I said that before, I hate saying this between Lowe's and Home Depot because I haven't worked for Home Depot. But if you're trying to decide between the two, buy Home Depot, and also because Home Depot is on the Dow, and Trump is really into, keeping the Dow stocks healthy if he can. So if he will help Lowe's as well, he'll help anybody. And Lowe's will struggle more, I believe. Hopefully it's not going to be the same difference between Target and Walmart as you see one of them tanked a lot. And so anyway, let's do this. So it's tanked. Let me see. It's only like last March, and look how quickly it recovered and is now bounced above here. But if we look at Dollar General, the same kind of graph, you're gonna see it's really horrible. I mean, and this is a reflection of, like, it was okay and it was too much. Like, it should be, it's just swampy. This is just swamp shit. I'm just saying, sorry, let me do this. I'm just saying between these two, I just want to get this out of the way right now. Like, I don't know what the hell it's gonna be doing. It's just ugly and it's not recovering. And between the two, the reason Dollar General is not doing well is because it's tobacco supported, and that's it. And it imploded, and it's also pedophile and tobacco and probably SNAP benefits. Where did it get money from? In January 2025, I think that's religion swamp money. I don't know what that is, but some of this stuff could have been like here, you see that go up? That's where they sold the Dollar Tree stock to try to do some fake stock manipulations. But this shit is, they're involved in the SNAP benefits. And I was following them around, by the way, in Minnesota. I was like, that's where I got I was watching them and there were no, anyway, Dollar General, because they had illegal cigarette ads and illegal cigarette sales, and Dollar Tree doesn't. And that's why Dollar General's doing better. Let me just get rid of those two. I don't know why I just wanted to get rid of those two. Let's get that out of the way. All right, so let's go through. We'll get rid of you. What is this stuff? I don't know, guys. Just get rid of you. All right, so let's start with what happened this weekend with oil. There's oil in Venezuela. So there's going to be some effect on the oil stocks, but a long time ago I went through my stock things, and I said when I was doing my media swamp stock tutorials and my swamp stock tutorials, I said that the defense contractor swamp started to implode at the end of 2022. Right here, I said it's going to implode, and it stopped going up is what it did. It didn't really implode, so it still has to implode. Because check this out. This is so ugly. I mean, this is really an ugly graph. Unless Trump comes in and does something. This broke in 2020. In 2020, Chevron. This was what I thought represented this was I thought was the flagship, and it probably still is. But it's so swampy, guys. But the defense contractor swamp. Oh, let's try this. Let me do this instead. Hold on, people. Let me do this instead. Let me show you an example of. Oh, sorry, Altria. So Altria Group is the classic flagship. Actually, the classic flagship would be Pfizer. Let's do this one. So Pfizer is what I'm calling my classic pharmaceutical swamp flagship. Let's do this. Yeah, look at this. Woo. So look at that classic flagship. Everything above this line right here is taxpayer corrupt scamming going on. They'll take the taxpayer money, they'll dump it into the Pfizer swamp shit for various reasons, and then through stock manipulations, the money ends up back in the pockets of Congress people. Right here, and then right here, and it was starting to come down to this line again here, and the fake pandemic Holocaust prevented that. And they went up to here, and then now it's down here. So If you're thinking of buying Pfizer, it's going to start to go up again, but it's never going to do this as much. So this is the rate it's going to go up over the next years, is this. But it's never going to be as high because Trump is draining the swamps, and this is it. This is the big hurrah. Now, if it starts to break below this line now, it's going out of business. But I think, all these places have legitimate businesses that are underlying all this swampy gay Nazi buttfucker shit. So, yeah. So that's what's going on with Pfizer right now. Now, I suggest you just buy the Dow, because the Dow is going to be fine forever. If you're doing individual stocks and you're thinking, I think it has bounced here, and I think it's going to stay above. But if it starts to fall below this line, any lower than this, you're done. But this is what happened. This was the fake pandemic. This is all your taxpayer money going into this fucking fake shit. Bullshit. Okay? And it's not even, once you cut out corruption, you guys, world peace is going to be here soon enough. But boy, it's taken a while. So that's Pfizer. Okay? And this is when I sued them right here. What the hell? Whatever. Let's just, okay. So that was Pfizer, and Altria is the other one. And I wanted to show you something with Altria, though. And it has to do with what I showed you before. I'm going to say it's going to be something like this. I don't know. Okay, so this was Marlboro Obama right here, and this is the 1998, the Tobacco Masters Settlement. And then here, 2006. Was it Marlboro Obama? No. Who was 1998? I keep blaming that on Marlboro Obama. No, he wasn't in office in 1998. Anyway, I always say this is Marlboro Obama and this is Swamp Terminator Trump for the tobacco swamp. And this is also the most tightly associated to the pedophiles too, this one, the tobacco swamp. But the reason it didn't go down, now it's going back up, and now it's going to come back down to this line. It's not going to go up as much, but it's still, the tobacco swamp right now is still pretty powerful, people. So it's going to do this. Not as big as this one, but it's bigger than this one. This is what's concerning to me. It is a bigger, it should be lower than this one. This should have just gone like this. So they're getting their money from elsewhere, and the reason they're able to stay like this is because, as I said, they could, instead of cash, they could pay people with cigarettes. And that's unlike the pharmaceutical swamp can do that too. They could pay people in drugs, but then it makes unreliable, then they have a bunch of drug addicts that they're just unreliable, whereas smokers tend to be functional, way more functional than the drug addicts. So you have a workforce that's more functional than pharmaceutical swamp people, So that's the swamp. Let me get rid of that one. So this is going to be the religion swamp. They got all their money coming in recently from 2024, and we'll tell you what's going on with T-Mobile. I said it was going to go down, and it's going to go down to here. Just draw these lines like this, and you'll see where it's heading. And then this is also the swampy stuff, and it's never going to be that high. What's going to happen is it does this. Oh, the other one that does this is Boeing. Boeing is the best example. Check out that. Okay, so this is the best example of the attenuation I'm talking about, where you have less swamp stuff. So this is what I said. It's going to follow. I said this way back here. I said it's going to go down. I was talking about this here. Check out, and this is what happened in 2011 too. Swamp. Boeing is one of the biggest manipulated ones. So check out this before 2020. Look at all that money. That's all just swampy stocks that are going into it's taxpayer money going into this and then into the pockets of going down into the pockets of Congress people. But check out this swamp, not as much. This one, not as much, and this next one, not as much. So we're gonna have this less swampy, and then finally it's just gonna be something like this. Okay, so less and less swampy, a legitimate company, less pedophiles, less butt fucking scams, less this and that, and less fake accidents where they have sabotage. And they went through a period where they're purging too, and you could tell they're purging because they had all this sabotage. They have people unscrewing doors so that they fly off, and and they're pretending like it's so. That's tough, but they're doing great. So Boeing is doing all right. I would just, because they are on the Dow, I would just buy the Dow. But it's an indication of the attenuation, and that's a defense contractor swamp stock. The airline index is interesting because what happened? So I'm just saying, this is what I'm saying, by the way. Trump is clearing out the Congress people who are relying on all these stocks like this. This is draining the swamp. So he gets control, and he sends out a rumor that he's going to get Maduro and this and that, and it's going to affect the oil stocks. And what he leaked out to Congress people that the stocks are going to go up. He did this on Friday. So on Friday, Boeing stock went up a lot. All the defense contractor swamp stocks went up a lot because that they were going off of news. And what's going on here, we'll show you. So this is what's going on with the airline index, which I have just recently determined is the defense contractor. It's the defense contractor flagship stock as far as I'm concerned. So this is all corruption, less and less and less, and guess where it's heading now? And right now, he told them all to buy this stock, and it's got to head down, guys. This has got to go down, though the Congress people think it's just going to keep going up. So he's doing a 5D chess move on these guys right here. He's doing a short squeeze on them, or yeah. So he's going to clear them out. Trump is doing great. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying there's a lot of shit going on, and I'm just going to do it in terms of this should be going down here to right around here. But he leaked out to Congress people, especially over the last couple of days, like, look at this. No, the stock's going to go up, and he's getting them sucked in, and he's going to either, anyway, Trump's in charge of this shit, and he's just clearing out the Congress people and doing 4D chess moves on him, and that's all that is with Maduro, and that's all that is in Minnesota funny business. The SNAP benefits are drying up for the scams, and there's a lot of scams going on that involve daycare centers, but that's not just fake daycare centers. Those are daycare centers where kids were being molested. Okay, you better believe it. If the word tobacco swamp, Minnesota, Tim Waltz, scam, and daycare center come into one firm, it's not just a daycare center scam. You know there's pedophile shit going on there. Okay, so that's all being imploded. But just so you know what's really going on versus what the news says. The airline. So I was gonna say on Sunday, watch out because the airline index is gonna go down, and he's gonna clear out the Congress people by telling them they're gonna be, and also Chevron should start to go down unless Trump is doing manipulations with them. So Nike, let's see what they're doing. Holy shit. I'm just Nike, Disney, and Comcast. They all are the ugliest. I don't even know where the hell. I don't have any idea what the hell. Like, they've broken everything. I cannot find any support lines for any of it. I don't know what. So Trump has to be involved in this. This is Nike stock. I said that a long time ago. I said, like, here, you guys are going to purge or you're going to go out of business. And they're just... So we've got Nike. Let me do this. Let me do Disney. God, these are the ugliest. Look at that. It looks like Nike. I cannot draw any. I don't know what the hell to draw. So these are in Trump's hands, you guys. And like, what the hell? What? I can't even. Maybe. No. Ugly as fuck. CMCSA. Oh my God, it's so ugly. Same thing. So Nike, Comcast, and Disney. Now, the reason I know, Trump was doing jokes with me because I used to say, remember I said if it falls below even by a penny, if it falls below 29.27 even by a penny to 29.26, it's broken a support line. So what the penny joke is hilarious because over the course of during this period, and I recorded it and it's gone now, but it went to 29.26 once, it went to 29.28 twice, 2 or 3 times. He was just I know Trump is controlling this, but I think the joke was, I don't know, it felt like a joke toward me almost, or telling me that he's in charge of this. It was just like on the day that the Dow, well, anyway, it just feels like Trump's in charge, and he's just showing just how precise he can be by putting it to the very penny, 27.29. I got the joke if that's what you did. But I've never in my life seen something like that where it was 3 or 4 days where 1 penny below, 1 penny above. It's just saying, I don't know which direction it's going, but he's in charge of the Comcast and they're purging, and just hang in there, baby girl. I would never, don't even buy this stuff though. You need to just, if anybody's interested in anything, you just invest in the Dow, period, and just forget about it. Invest in the Dow, you're going to be fine. I'm just showing you, just for fun, if anybody's interested, because this is definitely Dow, Nike, Disney, and Comcast are 100% in the hands of Trump, and he could control whatever's going on with them. But they just need to purge their freaking pedophiles and gays and I don't know what's going on with them. So yeah, that's Walt Disney. I forget the point I was. Okay, so Nike, pedophile stuff, but it's looking good because they're now working with Caitlin Clark. I don't know, you guys, just get through it. But boy, they took a hit after the tobacco thing, and they're pedophile central, tobacco. So PepsiCo doing really. They're at a crossroads too. They were looking good right here, and it's like, what the hell? Are you gonna burst below, or are you gonna? This is all religion swamp crap, and hopefully it's just gonna be okay. I mean, really, this is the a little bit of swamp, a little bit. We'll see. Okay. Pepsi. General Mills, religion swamp. It's the same thing. The religion swamp has imploded, but you can see that a lot of the religion swamp stocks and the pharmaceutical swamp stock. Oh, crap. I don't know about General Mills, though, guys. It's broken through. Oh, crap. Buy the Dow, people. Buy the Dow. I would not buy General Mills. Or I'm not sure what's going to happen now. General Mills might be. So the least swamp stocky. General Mills is looking bad, guys. The religion swamp is imploding, and General Mills might not last. Oh well, we're not even gonna. Target is just super bad, but they might be at a. They might finally have hit a bottom too. Let's see how this one is going. Yeah, Target might be at a bottom, like close to it, or it could be going out of business. Okay. Oh, stop. Candace Owens stuff. One more. Okay, so
This is the quickest way to go from AI
Yeah. So what did I say? Oh, post.
beginner to AI fluent in 2026. Watch that.
Okay. Post is the least swampy. So if you guys want to buy a cereal stock, that's why everybody's selling their Post. So this is good because you get the bad people selling their good stock. They're gonna sell Post to keep their the bad stocks going. Post is just, look at that. They're the least swampy. They don't go up. They're gonna be fine. Post should be put on the Dow. If you guys want to put a cereal thing on just put Post on the Dow. Run by a woman, by the way, a long time ago. She's the one who built Mar-a-Lago, whatever. But she's portrayed as a bad person in the Unfrosted. Well, I've been through all this. Post is looking good. They're not swampy. But what was the other one I wanted to go over? There was Post, General Mills. Did you see Walmart? They were looking good. These guys are like, damn. They just look so good. Like, go Walmart. By the way, Walmart, you could set, later on, you're getting a wrongful termination lawsuit. You're doing so well. Come on, man. I'll settle with you. I'll settle with Google. The people I'm after, I'm going to do lawsuit stuff later, but you got so much money. Throw a little bit my way later when we do settlements. Jeez, like for sure. I love Walmart. What did I go through? Come on. I wanted to show you guys one more thing here. Okay. Sorry, hang in there. I'm almost done. 1:42 a.m. Oh, I gotta go to work soon again. I never thought I'd be close to having to do this. Series down. Oh, I did Disney, CMCSA, whatever. Okay, guys, I was gonna make a point, but I guess. Oh, the three. Okay, so T-Mobile. Okay, U.S. We're gonna do the three. So this is the swampiest of the three. AT&T is the second swampiest. As you can see, this is ugly as hell too, though. Another ugly one. I don't know what the hell this is. Like, that's just fucking ugly. Sorry, didn't mean to swear, but it's just ugly. That's in Trump's hand too. It's less swampy than T-Mobile, but it's also uglier. Verizon is on the Dow, and look at this. It's looking good. It's less swampy, but I could see at least, unlike AT&T, I could see a support line here for this one. There it is. There's the support line for Verizon. There was a swamp, and this is less swampy, so we're gonna get this going on. It should be okay, guys. It's not going up as much, but at least it's not like AT&T. I think AT&T could go out of business. Okay, that was it. There was one more thing. Candace Owens.
Watch this.
So Candace Owens. Oh, this guy. Okay, so there's Candace Owens, but always watch out for redheaded people. This guy's not gay, but the redheaded beard. The Charlie Kirk stuff is hilarious. It's like they're just various. I don't know. It's fine. But Candace Owens thinks that spanking kids is stupid, so she's my hero, and they're all attacking her for that probably more than anything else. Candace Owens is getting attacked from everybody, not because of anything except she's a black woman who believes spanking kids is stupid. This is it, everybody. The gay Nazi pedophiles are after. They want to make sure you keep spanking your kids. They want to make sure you keep circumcising them. This is family court stuff. So whatever. Think all you want, and I already showed you the video that explains everything that happened with Charlie Kirk. So
The wonder of
you go, girl. Go, Candace Owens. I had some other stuff to do, but I gotta go pee, and I think we're at. Yep, okay, we're there. Okay, so this is what we're gonna start. We're gonna start the next video tomorrow on this stuff. It's gonna go over all the pedophile references and all the rom-com stuff. Tomorrow. I think that's everything. Okay, yeah. Okay, we got it. So that's tomorrow. I think. Oh, wait, I had one more thing. Wait, what is it? What is
Hello,
it?
everybody. Happy Wednesday, August 24th, 2022.
Where am I?
I just did the Kolioki Marathon, and now I'm going to...
Okay, no. Where was it? Okay. Whatever. Okay, I'm trying to think, but that's it. Okay, part 3 coming up tomorrow. This is, what did I want to say? It's just ending on a down note, but I wanted to segue into the next one. But you know what? I'll start the next one with the segue that I had in mind. I know what it is now. I just don't want to go look for it. Okay, I know what the segue is, but I'll do that tomorrow. Godspeed to everybody coming out the other side in one piece. Hang in there, everybody. And seeing the Walmart people again, it reminds me, it's a good day for a great day. That's one of their mottos. That's the motto of, I've already forgotten his name. There's Chris. It's Chris. So Chris, it's a good day for a great day. Hang in there, everybody. Godspeed to everybody coming out the other side in one piece. That's PIEC and PEACE. PEACE and PIECE. Bye. Bye. Boop.